Tampa Bay Lightning live on Prime Monday Night Hockey. Welcome back to another watch along, ladies and gentlemen. Glad that you're all here to tune in with me to watch the Toronto Maple Leafs once again. The Lightning, the Leafs have had the Lightning's number the last little while, I feel like. And not only that, Matthew Knies, I feel like, always scores in these games, so it should be a lot of fun to watch. We are wrapping up right here. They had a whole ceremony. That's why it's a late puck drop, excuse me. They had a whole ceremony in the arena. It is military night at Scotiabank Arena. So we're just moments away from puck drop. They are doing the anthems right now, but a lot on the docket tonight. Scott Laughton did not skate this morning, but he is playing in this game. I don't know how you could possibly take him out, but maybe he's dealing with some sort of bumps and bruises or illness, something like that. But didn't skate this morning. He is in the game. Calle Jarnkrok comes in on the fourth line for Nick Robertson. Dakota Mermis is in the blue line or on the blue line for Phil Myers. So those are your changes heading into this one against Tampa Bay. Outside of that, the lines stay the same. Michelli was skating this morning, but he is a healthy scratch again. You didn't have an egregious game on Saturday. I don't know if they deserve to win, and they didn't, but I don't know if you could change up the lineup that much. So we'll see what happens in this one, but one thing remains. The third line's got to get going, of course, as they have been. Goaltending's got to be solid. Hildeby was great on Saturday, and of course, your top line has to get going in this one. So we are just moments away from puck drop. Thank you for tuning in, everyone. We will be watching along. We'll have the live score updates. We'll have some intermission entertainment as well. So that'll be a lot of fun, but stay tuned for that. And we are just moments away from puck drop here. It is military night. They were honoring members of the Canadian military earlier in the pregame ceremony. But here we go. We are moments away from puck drop here. About to get it underway. Also, an update on the Tampa Bay Lightning side. Shout out to Blake Sim. Hello, Amy. Shout out everyone who's in the chat. Shout out Blake Sim. Yes, on the Tampa Bay Lightning side, news this morning, Andrei Vasilevskiy has been put on IR, so he's not playing tonight. We're getting our starting goaltenders right now. Dennis Hildeby for the Toronto Maple Leafs. Also, Braden Point in the lineup for the Tampa Bay Lightning. Nikita Kucherov. So Vasilevskiy not playing. Kucherov is in. He missed the game due to a lower body injury, I believe. He was day-to-day. Listed as day-to-day. He is in. He is playing in this game. So Kucherov is in. Big game for both these teams here because they both need these points, and Tampa is at the top of the Atlantic, and Toronto's trying to make their way up the Atlantic right now. Still on the outside looking in. Holmberg looks like he might actually take the opening faceoff here, which is pretty cool for him. Everyone remember Pontus Holmberg? Yep. He's on the Tampa Bay Lightning now. They're about to drop the puck here. There we go. Late puck drop. 7:50 local time. Here we go. Game is underway, ladies and gentlemen. Tampa gives it away behind their net. Leafs are on it. Nylander is on it. That hits Cowan way up high. That was tough. Shout out Olivia in the chat as well. Welcome in, everyone. Where's everyone watching from tonight? Let's get a roll call going. We got quite a few people in here already. The game is underway. Puck is behind the Leafs net. They're slowly going to chip it out here. Holmberg took the opening faceoff for the Tampa Bay Lightning. Pontus Holmberg, who spent the last 6 or 7 seasons with the Toronto Maple Leafs organization. What do you think about the trade rumors for the Vancouver Canucks players? Yeah, that Quinn Hughes stuff is crazy, guys. Quinn Hughes will not be a Vancouver. He is going to be traded. I mean, I don't know about tomorrow. We have an offside here at the Leafs blue line. I don't know if Quinn Hughes will be a Canuck beyond, like, this summer coming up. I don't think he's going to get... I don't think he's going to get traded tomorrow, but I don't think he's long for this team. I have to be honest with you. Just with all the language that they're using, it looks a little sketchy. I don't know. So, Dennis Hildeby has made 33 saves in each of his last 3 starts. He has a 934 heading into tonight in 3 games. Absurd! Nice job by Matthew Knies to keep that alive. Shout out to Courtney, who is watching from Nova Scotia. She's working the night shift tonight outside. Shout out to you. It It is cold here in Toronto today, too. This was the first day where you're like, whoa. Maybe not the first day, but one of those days where you're like, whoa, that's a bit much. Watching from Canada, Ontario. Yes, shout out to Ben over on Raptors Digest as well, of course. Shout out. I do have my volume cranked right now, so I don't know. I mean, I'm going to look into it, but play is back underway here. Let's see if this works. Does this sound any better for you guys there? We'll see if that works. If that sounds any better, let me know. But oh, shout out Nick. Sorry, using Courtney's YouTube account. Minus 12 there. It is cold. It is cold. Leafs are actually only 8-4-4 at home, which isn't as bad as I thought. The Lightning are a very good road team, one of the best in the league behind the New York Rangers. There we go. Okay, that sounds good. I can crank it up a little bit louder if you guys need to. Just let me know, but hopefully that sounds a little bit better. We'll get it a little bit louder as well. The Leafs have the puck right now, but it was turned over. Now it's in the defensive zone. Good play by Scotty Lawton. Gets dumped there. Absolutely dumped. There we go. I raised it a little bit. Josh was on a half breakaway there. Couldn't get it. Lawton dumps it in. Back behind the Tampa Bay net. A defenseman who I do not recognize has the puck right now. Excuse me. Where's this Lindbergh? I think I recognize this guy. I forgot that Yanni Gourde is also back with the Lightning as of last year. Whoa. Big save by Hildeby. And the puck is loose, and this is going to cause a scrum. Tavares is throwing punches. John Tavares is throwing punches. Shout out to Oregon, Ohio. Almost said Ontario. Rush there by Holmberg. Of course, it's Holmberg. But big stop by Hildeby there on the rebound as well. And the puck was loose, but they blow it dead. And that, you know, I'm not going to complain about that. But Joel Hamilton says, working up in Northern Ontario, minus 19, feeling like minus 23. Go Leafs go. Shout out to you, Joel. And the work that you are doing. Shout out to you, sir. And thank you guys for tuning in. I like doing the watch-alongs for the Prime games. I like doing watch-alongs for most games, and I did the Washington game a couple of weeks ago. I like doing watch-alongs, especially for the Prime ones, because I know you guys, you know, not everyone has Prime. Not everyone can watch this game, right? This is not on cable. This is not on, you know, Sportsnet Plus or whatever it is. So it's nice that we can all get together and watch the game. Or just react to it, at least, here in the comments. Appreciate you guys tuning in. Yarncroke with the puck now. Fourth line out there with Lawton, Yarncroke, and right to Lorentz in front, and a big stop right in front. That was a nice little opportunity there for the Toronto Maple Leafs. Lawton's been awesome, I have to say. Johansson in net by the way for the Tampa Bay Lightning. Forgot to mention that. And the Leafs have seen him a couple times before last season, I believe. So nothing crazy there in terms of matchup. Obviously, Vasilevsky not in net. That's a big deal. He's been good again. He's always pretty good. Fourth line's laughing on the bench, you know, chopping it up. Offensive zone face-off loss for the Leafs for John Tavares, who has been very good. He makes a move around Nick Paul to Nylander. Riley with a very awkward one-time shot thing, whatever we want to call it. OEL's been awesome. Plays physical, putting up a lot of points. What's everyone's thoughts on OEL this season? He's been fantastic. Tavares in, he takes a shot. It's kind of fanned on. What's up, Prophet? Welcome in, welcome in. Prophet, I saw you in the World Cup group draw TSN chat the other day. I saw your name pop up and I was like, whoa, no way, it's Profit. I was watching that live at the time, which I thought was pretty cool. So don't know if you're into football too much, but pretty exciting that it's going to be a couple big saves by Hildeby and it stays out. Huge saves. Nyes is out to center. He touched that. Shouldn't be icing, but it's going to be. It is icing against the Toronto Maple Leafs. Not sure if you're into football, but very excited about the World Cup. It's in Canada. And of course, Canada's in it, so that's, should be very exciting. And no surprise, I've said on the channel before, I am Portuguese, so I will be cheering for Portugal as well. As I always do. It's just nice that I have also Canada to cheer for now, the last 2 World Cups. So, of course, always going to support Canada, but going to be watching Portugal as well. No surprise there. Which I'm a little upset they didn't get any games in Canada. Would have been probably easier to travel to, but we'll see about that. Canada, at least, obviously playing in Canada. And Canada, not to take away from this, the puck is down and the Leafs are out to the neutral zone. Canada might open it, depending on what happens in the playoffs, Canada might open the tournament in Toronto against Italy, which is absolutely insane. That would be nuts. Canada doesn't want that result, actually, because that would mean a bunch of blue jerseys at BMO Field, let's be honest. It's going to happen. Hildeby plays the puck out to the line. Nice deflection by Kucherov and big save by Hildeby in the slot to Hagel. Another big save by Hildeby. Shots are now 6-2 for Tampa. One-timer by Kucherov from his spot. He misses. Weird combination of third and first line out there right now. Or I guess just Joshua's with Domi and Matthews. Kind of stuck on the ice right now. How do you get pinned in your own zone in the first period, guys? McCabe's been out there for 2 minutes, and it's the first period. There's no long change. Yeah, Jesse, tickets are going to be tough to get. I mean, oh, nice little play by Tampa, and they just missed the net. Looked like Hildeby might have gotten that, though. He's looking sharp so far. Tickets will be impossible. There's going to be a draw for them, but obviously, like, whoever wins those, they're going to be up for sale as well, so. Leafs third line is out to center in the offensive zone. Nothing doing. Goes to the corner, back to the point for Benoit. Benoit shoots for a stick. Nobody's there. Lorentz is back. Benoit back to the point. Benoit shoots. Routine glove save for Johansson in net. We are headed to a commercial break. Let's get a roll call going. Where's everyone watching from here in the chat? Appreciate everybody who's watching today. Leafs have 3 really good goalies. That is right. Absolutely. I almost called you Courtney again. Sorry about that. Nick, you're absolutely correct. The Leafs have, when healthy, of course, Stolarz has been fantastic. We saw that last year. Everyone kind of crowned him the starting goaltender. Woll obviously looks unbelievable this year, and it looks like he'll be back this weekend, so that's great news. And Hildeby has been a pleasant surprise this year. I was like, okay, this is the guy that's going to be the guy moving forward, right? Into the future. I'm very excited about that. And, when you're looking at his progression and the fact that he was with the Marlies, I'm thinking, all right, I'm not going to hit the panic button yet. He's going to get better. I'm not too worried about it. All of those things. But obviously there was a couple of performances last year where you're like, I don't even know if he could play at the NHL level, like even consistently at all. But this looks a lot better this year. He looks like a different goalie heading into this year. He was their best goalie in preseason, and then since being called up, he's been awesome. So I think Hildeby's looked really, really good. I've always been a fan of his, but I know like it takes goaltenders a little while. He's still young for a goaltender too. Like it takes them till like 25, 26 to really like, until you're like, okay, cool, let's put him in now. Let's see what he has. So unless, of course, you're a highly touted prospect like Dustin Wolf out in Calgary, that's a different, conversation. But with Hildeby, I was like, no need to panic, and he looks really good this year, and he's only going to get better. And his size helps him as well. 6'7", 6'7", as the kids say. So he's looked good. Let's see what we got here. Blake Sim saying Windsor, Ontario. So shout out to Windsor. Shout out to the Spitfires, one of the best teams in the OHL again this year. Ethan Beltrez, remember that name. Hilda Beast. That's right. Yes, he is. Shout out to Bowmanville, Ontario as well. Andrew watching from Bowmanville. Boots McJohnson watching from North Carolina. Love North Carolina. Great spot. Great spot. It's a nice place. We got an icing call against Tampa Bay here. Oh yeah, Andrew, this game is not on TV. This game is on Prime Video. One of the Monday night matchups. So this game is not on cable. It's not on, if you got Sportsnet Plus, whatever you got going on, it is not there. Riley with a shot on goal. Nothing given. They're showing Kucherov's offense since 2022-23, and it's like unbelievable numbers. And I took him this year with my first pick in fantasy, and this guy has done nothing this year. Nothing. This guy, you can't even drop him. Like, I don't know how many of you guys play fantasy. You can't even drop him because of how high I picked him. Like, there's a thing where you can't drop certain players and they're locked or whatever. Because of how high I picked him. And it's not like I want to drop him. I can't even trade him. Nobody wants him. Like, it's not like he's useless, but I'm like, dude, as a top 5 pick or whatever it was that I used to pick him, just absolutely sewering my fantasy team this year. Absolute dumpster fire. I'm second last in my league, and I was last by a lot to start because a lot of the players I picked that I thought were going to have good years have not had good years. But, I've made some good moves. I didn't realize that hits were weighted as heavily in this league. So I made some changes, and we got that going. Got a little scrummage, or whatever you want to call it, in front of the Leafs net here. This game has been pretty physical so far. Pretty physical. Cowan has looked good so far. Anybody else from Bowmanville in the chat right now? Easton Cowan's had a pretty good season as well in terms of point production. He's playing on a second line. He's playing with some good players, man. John Tavares and William Nylander. He's had a pretty good season. I do think he obviously needs to get a little quicker and some more balance, some more strength. He'll work on those things in the offseason, I'm sure. Like, he'll come back a different guy next year, but he's been really good this year. Really, really happy about his development so far. And I was saying, like, he for sure 100% needs to go LDB with another big save. I was like, for sure he's got to go to the Marlies, like, no doubt about it. Like, not so sure about that anymore. He's been good, so. Yeah, Spitfires, they've been great. Yeah, Ethan Beltraz, like, he's a big boy. Like, I think he's going to go very high in this year's draft. I don't know about top 5 because some names always emerge near the end, but he's going to be great. But, yeah, those Western Conference matchups against, like, London and stuff, those are always good. There's some teams in the O that are just always good. Like, I feel like Windsor kind of had, like, a dip in, like, 2014, something like that, to, like, 18, but they're back. Well, they won the Memorial Cup in 17, but they've been really good. Can you guys tell I worked in the OHL? I I remember things that I probably shouldn't. I don't know why I know that. Kucherov to Sorelli back in the middle. Nice play by Stetcher. Stetcher's been a nice surprise as well since coming over on waivers. The whole thing with him was he's going to outwork you, and he's been doing very good with that so far. So Brian Martin says, what's going on with Stolars? I wish I knew. They're being very hush-hush about it. He has not skated in a while. And I saw some stuff today. I'll bring it up. Like, I don't like to pay this stuff too much mind, but I saw some stuff. People are starting to speculate that he, like, quit on the team. And he's upset about something. I think he sustained an injury, and they didn't not that they didn't evaluate it properly, but it is maybe worse than they thought. But I just don't like the messaging sometimes from the team in terms of injury updates. But I have to be honest, like, the Leafs would suspend him if that happened. Like, there's no way they're keeping that hush-hush like this. The Leafs would suspend Stolars if he took his ball and went home. Like, there's no way that's a thing that happened, guys. Also, sorry, play has been going on for a while here. I'll set this here. Apologies, guys. But there's no way that happens. But I'll get the profit your question in a second here. Next whistle. And we have a whistle. OEL just almost ran over Hildeby, but he didn't. We're good. But he didn't. Now, Prophet says, I saw somebody suggest that maybe Austin has a tendon injury, and since they take forever to heal, it's been lingering. What do you think? Yeah, I think I know the easy thing is everyone's like, oh, it's his back. It's his back. Like, if it was his back and it was that bad and it was flaring up all the time, like, I don't think he would have, like, if you watch him play, it's possible it could be his back, but I think it would be affecting him even more than it is. And I don't know if he'd be like blocking shots and stuff like that. Like I think he would be pretty useless if it was his back. So, like if anyone's ever sustained a back injury, wow, this game is getting OEL's going after somebody here. There's a lot of rough stuff early on in this game. I like it. If you've ever sustained a back injury, I feel like you'd be useless. So I don't know if it's a back injury. I'm not saying that it's definitely not. A lot of people were saying his wrist because he got them surgically repaired like years ago. Oh, they're only pulling one guy. I like OEL. See, he's drawing. This is what he did in Florida. That's what he did in Florida. I like it. Now, so it looks like the Leafs are going to the power play here. I believe. Yeah, Leafs are going to the power play here. Unsportsmanlike conduct on Finley of the Tampa Bay Lightning. I like OEL a lot, man. I thought that was a great signing. I don't care about the years or how old he is. Like, OEL's a fine player. OEL is a fine player. Yeah, Prophet, I know. Power play. Oh, no. Anyway, people were thinking Matthews' wrist was the problem. Not so sure about that. Just because he got surgery one time on them. Not so sure about that. I mean, it could be a tendon, and it's something that's lingering. It is, and it's something that flares up, and I just don't know if he has enough time during the summer because you got to skate during the summer. You got to train, right? I don't know if he has enough time to stay off of his feet to let whatever it is heal. I don't. So maybe he's dealing with it. You know what, though? Like, I really like to use Ovi and the Caps as, like, an example to the Leafs sometimes. Like, if you look at Ovi's career, around this time in his career, it might have been a little bit later. Like, he might have been a little older. He sustained some injuries as well, or something was bothering him. There was change in coaching, different styles. They were trying to win a cup, all this stuff, and he was scoring less goals, and he wasn't as effective. And I can't remember if it was before or after, but Leafs are on the power play here, and they're skating in their own zone, by the way, so you can tell how this is going. But I can't remember if it was before or after, but he had a moment where he was like, no, I got to put this team on my back, and he just beat somebody from the Rangers up. I can't remember. Like, he got in a fight, and it was kind of like a moment that changed things, and I think that's when Barry Trotz came in and offside at the line. The Leafs have had no sustained pressure on this power play. 105 left in this power play. So I just remember that being a thing. And then Ovi obviously picked it up, and now he's the best goal scorer of all time. So these things happen, and hopefully he'll heal. I'm not ready to label him cooked at all. Like, I think he does. I think the one thing for me, and what I always said about Mitch Marner, is if you're not able to do what you normally do, if people are shutting you down, you can't do that. Do something, literally anything else. Bring something to the table. Put something on the line for your team. That's the one thing I've always said and I've always believed in. And you hear all these players talk about stuff like that. And I, not to bring Marner into it, but that was my whole thing with him, that he didn't do, like, when he was shut down, he didn't bring anything else to the table. Matthews this year, he's like, okay, I'm not the goal scorer I used to be. And whether it's because of an injury or it's psychological, bring something to the table. He's blocking shots. He's trying to use his body effectively. He's just doing something that can at least make him useful. And I think, in a situation like this, I look at that and I go, how can you not love that, right? So obviously you want him healthy, you want everything to be great, but sometimes it doesn't happen. Shot in front, and Johansson makes the save. There's 28 seconds left on this power play. The Leafs now have 5 shots. Tampa has 11. That's going to be a theme tonight, by the way, because it always is. The Leafs are going to get outshot. Let me know how you guys feel about Matthews in terms of that, though. Because I do believe that. As long as you're, like, if he is hurt and he's trying to play through something, I feel like on one hand that can be inspirational for a team. And, in the same Got a face off here to the right of the Tampa net. Tampa wins the draw. In saying that too, I feel like, if he's at least doing something to try and help the team, blocking shots, trying to play physical, stuff like that. Like they need him to score goals, of course, but do what you can without giving up. I feel like that's a good thing. It's an ugly looking power play, guys. Real ugly. Oh, wow, what a save. What a save by Johansson. I don't know how that didn't go in. Cowan almost scores on, wow, backdoor. That was nuts. We are headed to a commercial break. Rewatch game 2 of the Leafs Bruins 2024. Man, Matthews was so dominant. So, Prof, it's funny you say that. I couldn't sleep last night, right? And we're in the commercial break right now. I couldn't sleep last night. I was on YouTube, and in my recommended came all the goals from last year's playoffs. So I was like, let me go down this rabbit hole and at least feel good about the Ottawa one. So I was watching all of them, and then that video ended, and I got a minute and a half ahead. Wow, I am watching on Prime Video, just so you know. So it is like up to date. It's like live. But what's up, Shane? Right after that video ended, I got recommended the 2024 playoff goals. So I was like, yeah, let me go back and watch this. And I was like, man, Matthews, before he got sick in that series, was looking pretty good. Then I got recommended the 2023 playoffs. It is a shame that team fizzled out like they did, man. I forgot, like, you had O'Reilly, Noel Achari. I forgot about that. I was watching all this last night. I cannot believe that team lost the way they did. They had Luke Shen. Absolutely insane. But I was watching that. Matthews, again, like literally dominant there. He scored some big goals, man. People like don't give him credit. He scored some big goals in those moments. Like game 6 against Tampa, he scored that goal to go up 1-0. Of course, Tampa tied it, and then Tavares gets that infamous goal, but he scored a big goal there. And anyway, then it got recommended 2022. He scored a bunch of goals there. Riley was great, those 2 series, right? So, yeah, I missed that Matthews. We don't talk about 2021. 2021 changed things for the Leafs. That I think you found out a lot about the Leafs in 2021, and they didn't make changes till last year, and that's a problem. But what's up, Shane? Hope you're doing well. Back from commercial now. I believe the Leafs are still on the power play right now for a couple seconds. And no, they're not. It is even strength. So Nylander is taking a shift here with Matthews and Nyes. Offensive zone faceoff, which Berube, for some reason, loves to start Matthews in the defensive zone, away from the other team's net. I'll get to your guys' comments in a second. I need to see what this line does. It's not much right now. Darren Radish. Oh, nice play to Braden Point. Nice save by Hildeby. He covers so much of the net, and he makes a save, and he covers up. Great save by Hildeby. Toronto Maple Leafs fan. One wheel. I am a Toronto Maple Leafs fan. I am not a fan of the Tampa Bay Lightning. Although I do have some friends that are Tampa Bay Lightning fans. I have some friends that are Tampa Bay Lightning fans. Say that 10 times fast. The game winner in Game 2 in 2024, Game 6, 2023, Game 5 in 2022. Matthews got the game winner in each. Yeah. And I'll even raise you, 2022, Game 7, he got an assist on that goal that tied the game. And that Justin Hall interference call, which was ridiculous. They probably should have won that one too, but whatever. It's like, what are we talking about? But, yeah, 2022, he got an assist on the Morgan Riley goal in Game 7, so... Is it just me, or is it absolutely insane? This is from G of the P. That they're keeping the first and second units as they are, considering how bad everything's been. I feel like the only action we got is on the second unit. Yeah, I also feel like the second unit plays differently. Does anyone else feel like that? Like, their zone entries are completely different. They're way cleaner than Unit 1, first of all. Nice play by Lorenz, protecting the puck, trying to get it to the point. He is being absolutely haggle with good work there. No penalty. It's a good play. Lorenz gets it. He's skating it out to center. He's trying to get it deep. Get off for a change. And, yeah, Unit 2 plays differently to me. And not only that, yes, they could change the units, but you only have so many players you can swap out, realistically, that you probably do want on the power play and power play 1. But to me, it's the system. It is the system. Go watch, guys, if you don't watch any like other games other than the Leafs, go watch the Canadiens power play and go. Nice save by Hildeby again. Shot from the point. Tampa now up to 14 shots. Go watch the Montreal Canadiens power play and watch the Edmonton Oilers power play. It is the system. We have the skill on this team to be doing the exact same thing they do, and it's literally just movement. They need more movement on the power play. They need to be unpredictable. The Leafs power play is very stagnant. It is very static, and it is very predictable. If you watch any type of video, which every NHL team does, to prepare for every single game that they play, you know exactly what... Oh, what's up, Papa Pauly? Sorry, I was saying your username there. Every single team knows exactly what the Leafs are going to do on the power play on that first unit. Every single one. There is no surprises with the Leafs power play. They need to be more unpredictable. They need more movement. And they need more urgency, honestly. And I think it is a systems thing. You're not going to switch out the players. Look at the guys on the first power play unit. You have tons of skill on that unit. So, to me, it's system. Go watch even the Colorado Avalanche. Icing against the Lightning here. That's how I feel about the power play. You guys ready to buy with what this team has shown or hold off longer? I don't know if I'm ready to buy, but I don't think this team is as bad as people say it is. Look at the whole NHL right now. Go look at the Western Conference standings. Go look at the Metropolitan standings. Oh, Matthews with a good shot. Comes back to him at the point. Back to Mermis. Mermis puts it towards the net. One thing I also noticed about Morgan Rielly, if you watch him in the offensive zone, the play is developing and he waits too long to move. You can see that the play is developing out of the zone and he's not moving yet. Papa Pauly with the 20 gifted members, spreading the love, spreading the wealth here on Leafs Digest. Thank you so much, Papa Pauly. From the beginning, we remember you. Look at all the new memberships going out there. Blake Sim gets one. Blake Sim gets one. Let's go. Hurt Locker as well. I recognize them. Shane as well. Papa Pauly with the 20. It's 20. We're giving you 2 here. We're giving you 2 here. Look at that. Thank you, Papa Pauly. We appreciate you here on the channel, as always. Appreciate you. They have some sustained pressure. Leafs Leafs get pinned a lot, man. Since like middle of last year, end of last year, Matthews is favoring his arm. That didn't look good. He's heading off. That didn't look great. But I guess this is the system that they play. I mean, I've been saying it since last year. You don't have to love it, and I'm not totally in love with it. But if it works in the playoffs, it works. I just want a cup. But they're just gonna hang around in games. They're gonna get outshot. They're gonna get outplayed at times. But they're gonna hang around. They're gonna wear you down, and it works over the course of a 7-game playoff series. I just don't know if it works as well when you're not executing during the regular season. Man, Lawton's looked great this year when he's played. Obviously, that injury against Boston derailed him a bit, but he's looked awesome. We got about 4 minutes left here in the first period left to play. We got the Chief Blake Sims spamming the Chief emojis. Tavares out. He drops it to Cowan. Cowan, finds Rielly. Rielly gets poke checked. He scores. Rielly scores the most awkward goal I've seen in a while. 1-0 Maple Leafs. What a play by John Tavares. Well, David, there it is. Morgan Riley went to the net. I don't know if he should be going to the net, but he went to the net. He goes for the shot. He gets stick lift. It's a nice back check by Gensel, and he puts in the rebound on the backhand. 1-0 Maple Leafs. There we go, ladies and gentlemen. Riley scores. Blake Sim says thanks. Shane is using the belt. I'd love to see it. Michelli doesn't want to be here. He looked a little disinterested. Maybe his popcorn was cold. Maybe his popcorn was cold. Let's get to the chat. Papa Paulie saying Lawton is my new Pacioretty. Just bought a jersey. Lots of Pacioretty vibes with him. I'm going to be honest. It's hard to dislike him. Hard to dislike that player. Prophet, you got to turn the game off. You just got to watch along here. I'm telling you. Skip back a little bit. Pause me and wait till it's caught up a little bit. And then you can watch live. That's really funny, though. Riley's not on the ice yet. Steve saying you got to take the cape off Matthews. No, it's Super Matthews, man. We made it a couple years ago when he was Super Matthews. Craig Bruby doesn't like Michelli. I believe that as well. Olivia says, go Leafs, go. Bang. We got a goal right there. Nice guy says yes. The Mo Truthers. I'm a Mo Truther. I'm a Mo Truther. I do think they still look at trading him. But I said all through the summer he was going to be better this year. And he is offensively, at least. Just big tip. I also noticed that I didn't update the score, so there we are. 1-0 Maple Leafs. A lot going on here. We got 2:18 left in the puck out of play. We are going to commercial, last commercial of the first period. Good start for the Leafs, I have to be honest. It hasn't been horrible. They're getting outshot, but it hasn't been horrible. I don't hate it. And they're winning 1-0 over the Tampa Bay Lightning in the first period. Let's get a roll call. Everybody who's in the chat. Shout out to a bunch of you watching right now. Where are you watching from? Are you watching from Canada? Are you watching from the United States? Where in Canada? Let's get a roll call going, everybody. David says, look, you go to the net, you score. That's right. Cowan probably should have shot that too, but hey, they scored. They scored. He likes the pass. He's a playmaker. Shane saying, I'm open to trading half of the roster at this point. Start with Max, get fresh blood in the top 6 somehow, find some grit for the bottom 6. Now, here's the reason I don't want to trade Max Domi. A lot of people do, and I think they take a look at it, and if you look at the roster, let's be honest, it's Michelli or Domi that's going, right? The reason I don't want to trade Domi is I just bought this last year. Or 2 years ago, whenever he became a Leaf. I just bought this, and it's on the wall, and if you guys watch the videos, it's sitting here on the wall. And that would suck if he got traded. Morgan Riley becoming a winger? Papa Paulie wants Morgan Riley to become a winger. A lot of people, I've heard that. I don't think it's going to happen, though. It's not going to happen. And if they do that, they need a defenseman. Well, here we go with another $8 million player. Another $8 million forward, guys. We're back from commercial now. Go Leafs, go. Go Leafs, go. Let's get some Go Leafs go in the chat as well. Got a couple minutes left here in the first. Yeah, I guess I could rip the 11 off there and put 2-8. Nice, Matthews and Riley on the top line. Oh, boy. Oh, yeah, we found our new right winger. He's already on the team. And he plays defense. Man, the Fire Berube would be everywhere the next morning if that happened. Unless it worked, which I think it could, honestly. Like, why wouldn't it work? Riley's always in the offensive zone and not timing his pinches correctly, but... Nice play by Matthews. Good pressure. Oh, yeah, with a nice shot. $7.54 is production, Paulie. Like, even now is not bad at all. Even on defense, I mean. I know what you mean offensively, if he was a forward and if he was a winger, but even defensively, I don't think it's that bad. With the cap going up, man, these players are going to be getting some insane contracts. But the problem is the defensive, like if he is your number one defenseman, the problem is how bad he is defensively. And he's not even that bad defensively, he's just not great. Nice play by Lawton to get it in. Yarncroke chases. David, great question. I'll get to that in a few minutes. Right at the end of this period, I want to address that because I've been thinking about that, and I was watching. If you're around watching earlier, I mentioned I was watching last night because I couldn't sleep. I was watching old Leafs, like all the goals from certain playoff runs, and I was like, oh, I forgot about Bunting. I have some thoughts about that, so I will get to that in like 2 minutes here. Not 2 minutes, less than a minute, of course, but Bjorkstrand takes a shot. Nope. Nylander gets it. He's back in the defensive zone. Here comes Cowan, one-on-one. Make a move. That's all right. He puts it in on goal. And that is a face-off in the offensive zone. Don't hate that. Don't hate that. Morgan Riley scored, John. Morgan Riley. 1-0. Morgan Riley. Who would be a great replacement for Domi is true as well. Tavares back on the board too. He has cooled off a bit, huh? He had like a stretch there where he does that though. He does that, and that's fine. I have 12 seconds left here in the first period. And I think Tampa's just going to eat it behind their own net. Maybe one last rush here. Here they come. Darren Radish up to center. Gets tipped in. Gergensons is in there. And nothing. We got 1 second left, and that's the end of the period. All right. 1-0 Maple Leafs after one. Shots are 15-10 for Tampa, which is not horrible. And Hildeby has been good. So I'm feeling pretty good about this. No real high danger scoring chances. I mean, maybe 2 in the first period. So not horrible. Not bad at all. Now, have I heard anything about Bunting, David? I haven't. I haven't heard anything about Bunting specifically. Now, would I want him back on the team? I worry about the reputation he was getting with the refs. I worry about that stuff. But that being said, I kind of want him back. Like, I think that would be good. And he's in Nashville right now, and I feel like he could be had for, like, not... Like, I know Nashville's going to be selling, so they probably want something of significance, but I don't think you could, like, I don't think you have to give up anything huge for him. So, I wouldn't mind it. I wouldn't mind it. And we know, I'm just saying, the type of player that he is and what he brings to the table, he can play on a top line. He's done it. So, that would be interesting. But then who goes out? Like, you would have to move Domi out. And then to where? Because you're not moving him to Nashville. Nashville's not taking that on, right? You would have to attach a sweetener to that, so that wouldn't make sense to me. But yeah, would be very interesting to see. I don't know what that looks like, but well, I hear he's sitting in the press box. I wouldn't mind Bunting back. I always liked Bunting. I just think he got a bit of a reputation at the end, right? And then he had that hit on Cernak, which was kind of ugly. He got suspended, but hey, thank you. I appreciate that. I forget your name. I keep seeing Courtney. I think it's Nick. I'm sorry. I know you said it earlier. But I appreciate that. Thank you very much. I feel like although he is definitely physical and fights back, he gets bullied a lot because of his overreactions. Yeah, and I feel like you can get, like, I think a lot of players kind of figured him out at the end, right? So I don't know, I'm a little skeptical about it, but they got Domi, and I wonder if Treliving's like, what if we just go out and get, like, the same player? Like, what's that really going to do, right? So we will see. But it's pretty interesting. I don't know. But talking about trades and all that stuff, I miss Bunting too. I liked him. I really did. And you need more of that. Like, I like those types of players. But Darius, why Michelli doesn't play when he's bad for Toronto? He's not playing because they took him out of the lineup because Berube thinks that he's not offering anything to the lineup. Now, keep in mind, he has 9 points, right? Like, he's been okay, but, like, on a shift-to-shift basis, like, you do want a little bit more out of him. But The real reason he's not playing is they took him out of the lineup for those reasons, and then they won a game. And then the way Berube is, and we saw it last year, the lineup is going to be exactly the same. So then they won another game. So then the lineup's going to be exactly the same. So then they won another game, and then you have Montreal on Saturday where you finally lose, and you change the lineup a little bit, but I don't think Michelli, he's taking Robertson out because he thought that Robertson played dip. I don't even think Robertson's played dip that much. I feel like coaches just like gaslight players sometimes to get them go. You know what I mean? Yeah, Robertson hasn't been doing anything for me. Robertson's going to hear that and be like, what the hell? And then he's going to like play with his ass on fire next game because he's going to get back in, right? So that stuff. Jarn Krok's also been notoriously good against Tampa and knows this team very well. So like that makes sense. But yeah, I think Michelli for Bunting could also make sense if he's sitting in the press box. But I think having Michelli kind of in your back pocket and the fact that you're playing well without him, I don't hate that. I think that's a good thing. We know what Michelli can bring to a lineup. And he just hasn't reached that level yet. I just don't know if he's comfortable. And look what happened last year. He barely played. He didn't want to be there. He was put on the fourth line. He was treated like garbage, right? So, I don't know. It's interesting. It's really interesting. But, yeah, maybe he likes the Scotiabank Arena popcorn too much. But, I'm going to take a short break, guys. We are in intermission right now, and I'll be back for the second period. I'm going to leave you guys with some updates from this morning in terms of what's happening with the team, some great play from like Troy Stecher and stuff like that, some updates on Anthony Stolarz. I'll leave you guys with that. I'll be back in just a few minutes.
This changes everything for the Toronto Maple Leafs as things keep getting crazier, as we have some huge updates surrounding not only a couple of key players, but also some interesting moves surrounding tonight's game. I'm going to break that down and discuss what it means going forward as well. Some recent comments from Craig Berube that has fans fired up once again. A ton to go over on this episode, folks, but before we get into it all, a quick reminder to hit that subscribe button if you're enjoying the Daily Leafs content. Darius, a big game tonight, of course, and the Leafs have to try to get back into the win column. They got 1 point against Montreal on Saturday, but there is some good news that changes, quite frankly, everything about this team, and that is a couple different things. We'll start with the first one, and that is Chris Tanev, as he is now officially, as of this morning, and of course we covered this in our video yesterday when he was skated a couple days ago, but he's back on the ice today for the morning skate. But unlike Saturday, the defenseman is not wearing a non-contact jersey, which of course is a positive sign. He is slated to be evaluated this week, which is obviously very, very good news. And also Marshall Ruffin not wearing a non-contact jersey. So we have two guys now, especially Chris Tanev, who is going to be inching closer and closer, nearing a return over the next couple of weeks here, as the Leafs approach a, not the easiest part of their schedule. This is obviously crucial, and they desperately, desperately need him back.
Yeah, it doesn't get any easier. Tampa is one of the best teams in the Eastern Conference right now, if not the league, in terms of, hot streaks. So big game tonight, and I will be live. I will be watching along tonight. So if you want to tune into that, it is a prime game, so not everyone can watch it. But some good news, obviously, for the Leafs in the injury front. Obviously, Chris Tanev, we saw him, at least he was skating. That was like the thing we were talking about on the weekend. And obviously now he's in a regular jersey. He's shed the non-contact jersey, which is good news. Now he's not going to participate in practice because he still has to see a specialist or whoever he's going to see, right? He's going to get evaluated later this week. But if they do end up clearing him, like if he does go see, the doctor and he gets cleared, then he can be playing pretty soon, right? He's going to get back into practices. He's going to get back into, the flow of things, and he could be back pretty soon. So this is great news. The fact that he's already out of that red jersey and skating around this morning, that's good news. And Marshall Ruffin broke his hand in the preseason. He's, nearing a return too, which is really good. And they've kind of been leveraging his LTIR space. So I wonder what's going to happen with that. Once he comes back, they're going to have to make a move. So that'll be interesting. We'll see what happens with that. But this is just good news, right? You want to have Chris Tanev back. I think that the play of Troy Stecher as well has kind of taken the pressure off of Tanev coming back at least a little bit. And I don't think it's going to stay that way forever with how Troy Stecher has been doing. But I feel like it takes the pressure off of Tanev a little bit. Whereas now when he does come back, hopefully soon, it's nothing crazy where, you're expecting him to come in and like he has to be this world beater, right? And he has to be the best defenseman for them. So that has eased things a little bit. But this is good news. They need Chris Tanev back for sure.
And obviously we'll look into the lines in a minute here. But yesterday, a new quote came out from Berube that had fans a little bit concerned. Now, this is also I guess less positive news. So they asked on any clarity surrounding Anthony Stolarz, and Berube said there's actually not right now. He's still not on the ice, so I'm not sure yet where he is at. And on Wall, he's progressing the right way. Like I said, it's probably going to be this week. Tanev has scheduled meetings with the doctor on Wednesday. So a couple days from now is a scheduled meeting with the doctor for Tanev, so we'll have clarity after that. But him being in a non-contact jersey, yesterday, and now being back out of it is a really good sign, or a couple days ago, whenever it was. But Stolarz, Darius, do you have any thoughts on this before we dive into some of the updates for tonight's game? Because it's once again a scenario where at the time of the injury, Berube said it's not believed to be anything serious. And now weeks later, and really it's going to be a couple weeks at least here shortly, they're without him for a while, which the good news is Hildeby's been playing really good hockey, but these are the quotes that keep happening year after year for this team. And it's not an encouraging update. It doesn't seem like Anthony Stolarz is going to be coming back anytime soon, but Joseph Wall, on the other hand, does seem like he's going to be returning soon.
Yeah, but that's why I was kind of scared for Joseph Woll, because they were using the same language, right? If you think back to when Stolarz got hurt, they said it's nothing significant. They pulled him because it was an upper body injury, maybe a tweak or something. He'd be back, soon. He was day to day, right? And now it's been a month. Everyone, I think, maybe has forgotten it's been a month since he's last played, or close to a month at least. Anthony Stolarz, this is. Now, they're keeping things positive in terms of Joseph Woll. Looks like he could return this weekend, which is good. Obviously, that's great news. But for Anthony Stolarz, he hasn't even skated yet. So I have no idea what this injury is, but clearly it was something worse than they thought. It's an upper body injury, last I heard. And again, you never really know what those things. Sometimes they're like their lower body injuries and vice versa. But he hasn't even skated yet, so that's not great news. But if they can get at least Joseph Woll back this weekend, I do have faith in Hildeby at this point. He's a different goaltender than he was last year. We saw it in the preseason, and he's brought it so far into this season. And he was honestly the only reason that game was close on Saturday as well.
Yeah, and speaking of him, you can see here he is the projected starter tonight against Tampa Bay, going up against. Well, an update. We have an update from the Tampa Bay side. We'll dive into in a minute, but let's dive into lineups here. Matthew Nyes, Domi. I'm not going to go through every single line. It's the same as it's always been. However, you'll notice that not always, but over the past few games, and you notice that Michelli is in at center because Scott Laughton was absent today. And when the initial report came out and the tweet from Mark Masters, David Alter, all those guys that Scott Laughton was out, we all thought worst case scenario he's going to be hurt again. But it is not the case, and we kind of knew that once Michelli was on fourth line center there, he wasn't going to be playing center. But Scott Laughton is in. He will be available for tonight's game, which is a very good sign. Now, Michelli, that means he's factoring out once again. They remain with a similar lineup. And, of course, the power play now. OEL is back down to the second pairing with Riley back on the first pairing with, of course, the four other forwards there. And then you also have some updates on the Tampa Bay side. But first, do you have any thoughts on this? Again, same lineups as usual. Laughton is in. However, Nick Robertson here is now an extra as well. So that's something to keep an eye out on, especially for tonight's game. Does that mean that Nick Robertson is going to be healthy scratched? That's the question.
Yeah, well, it looks like he's going to. I also saw this first before seeing the Scott Laughton update that he was going to play. He just missed morning skate, and I thought they were taking him out, which I was about to lose my mind because I don't know how you take that guy out of the lineup with how well he's been playing as of late, and his bar down piss missile slap shot on a breakaway last game, which was a lot of fun to watch. But Michelli, it looks like he may, be factoring at some point into the lineup. Like we've been talking about how they have to lose, or it would have to be a disastrous kind of game for him to get back in the lineup. So that's something to monitor too. He's kind of like on the outside looking in. And Nick Robertson looks like he's going to be a scratch for Järnkrok. I don't mind this. Järnkrok notoriously does play well against Tampa, so I don't really mind it. And you're just swapping like the deck chairs on the Titanic right now on the fourth line, right? Like you're just like, it's fine. I don't really care about this. I think Robertson, we know what he can do in terms of, when he gets scratched, he can come back, he can score, all of that stuff. So don't really hate that. I haven't hated Robertson on the fourth line, but the fourth line, really needs to get going, I think, 5-on-5 a little bit more. They didn't look that good against Montreal. So we'll see what happens with that heading into the game, of course. And there could be some, this is what it's looking like right now, but we'll see in terms of final decision closer to the game. But I think that some of the moves, like I don't hate the Robertson one with him coming out.
Yeah, now that means that they're choosing Järnkrok over Michelli, which is interesting a little bit as well in itself. But from the, you can see here, Järnkrok and Dakota Mermis trying. So on the blue line side of things, they are changing things up a little bit. So it's Riley OEL, McCabe, Stetcher, Benoit, Mermis instead of Meyer. So there are some changes. There are some moves, though, again, nothing too crazy that would, change the outlook of the game. However, speaking of changing the outlook of the game, the Tampa Bay Lightning here, the hashtag #GoBolts have placed goaltender Andrei Vasilevskiy on injured reserve. So Darius Vasilevskiy is going to be out for tonight's game, which is a blessing for the Toronto Maple Leafs here. This is perfect, and this obviously is you never want to see anyone hurt, and obviously he's one of the best goalies, if not the best goalie in the NHL, has been for a while. But this is a chance now for this Leafs team to get a couple points and really start to add them up as you approach the return of a lot of these key players.
And there's been a lot of chatter about Kucherov as well because he's been day to day. So that's something to monitor too. I guess we'll get some clarity closer to game time. But Vasilevsky definitely is out. So that's a good thing. You want to take advantage of that. And as you can see here, Kucherov is taking part in Tampa's morning skate, but he missed last game with an undisclosed injury. And he has been day to day. So that'll be something to monitor. Again, we'll get clarity closer to game time if he's playing. But that doesn't matter. Just go out and try and get the 2 points, right? Like you almost got 2 points on Saturday in a game that you probably didn't deserve to win. Let's see what the effort level is like here. And another thing to keep in mind too, in terms of this game, the Leafs the last couple of years have had Tampa's number. They have played them very well. And Matthew Nyes, keep an eye on him because he loves to score goals against the Tampa Bay Lightning. So we'll see what happens there. Maybe it's an easier matchup because Vasilevsky's out, because, Kucherov might miss the game, although it looks like he could play. But all of that to say, you have to come out. You have to get 2 points here because the schedule doesn't really get that much easier. You're seeing Macklin Celebrini later this week. And Askarov, I would imagine, would be in net for that one. And then obviously the Oilers on Saturday, who are another, scrappy team trying to get things done as well because they're kind of in a similar position to the Leafs.
Yeah, mini gauntlet that you have been doing really well. Beat the Panthers, beat the Hurricanes, got a point against the Canadians, and now you have a chance. It is on Prime, like you mentioned. Darius will be live here on the channel, so make sure to stay tuned for that. Let us know down below what your thoughts are. Thank you guys for watching. This is way better than we thought, and no one is talking about this one thing. Is following what has been a very disappointing season up until the past few days. There is one player that fans have for a while been very disappointed with this year, but things have taken a surprising turn surrounding not only his performance, but some things under the hood that no one is realizing and no one is talking about. But not only that, there's some new updates and reports revealing that this Leafs team is not only better than we thought, but there is reason to be encouraged. We also have a ton of other rumors to go over on this episode, including some other interesting things. But before we get into it all, if you're part of the percentage who aren't subscribed to the channel, it's the place to be for daily Leafs content. Darius, a lot to go over today. Obviously, the Leafs coming off of another win, a big win against a very solid team yesterday. But at the same time, we got to keep it going. But we're going to be kind of pivoting a little bit here. We're talking about Auston Matthews. Since returning from his injury, no one has been talking about how good he has been. Now, of course, a lot of you guys are probably going to comment, we're 2 years removed from a 69-goal season, all these different things. But for at least the time being, he's playing really well. He looks healthy, and the Leafs are winning games. And it's not just Auston Matthews, a couple other players as well we'll dive into. But 2 goals, 3 assists, 5 points in his 5 games. At a point a game. But he looked very, very good out there. And most importantly, he looks healthy.
Absolutely. He does look healthy. And I feel like a lot of people are talking about Auston Matthews this year in terms of, oh, look at 2 seasons ago, he scored 70 goals. Why isn't he doing that? And you look at these stats and you're like, yeah, but 2 years ago he did this. He's changed the way that he's played a little bit, and he's become a more well-rounded player, I think, and a more of a two-way player. And some of that is Berube and some of the usage, and I'm not totally in love with it. Like, I don't know why he starts so many defensive zone faceoffs. I still don't understand that, but that's just the way it has been going. I feel like they need to stop doing that. There's a reason you went out and got Nicolas Waugh for a reason. But if you look at some of the stats, and one thing that really stands out to me is the blocks. He has 13 blocks in that time as well. He's blocking shots. He's playing better defensively, better positionally. You can see it in terms of the advanced analytics. You can see it in terms of just the regular statistics and the eye test when you watch the game. He's changed the way he's played a little bit, and I feel like that could be a recipe for success in the playoffs because he has put more attention to detail. His whole career, he's slowly gotten better. You can see it every year at the defensive side of the game, and I feel like he's just putting, obviously a lot of people don't want Auston Matthews blocking shots, but what do you want? The conversation earlier in his career was he doesn't put his body on the line, all of that stuff, and now the conversation is he's not scoring goals, right? So I'm liking this happy medium where the team wins. We saw it last year. He took a step back, but the team is winning, all of those things, and of course he was injured last year. But the biggest thing people are not talking about, and I feel like the whole thing this year is he actually healthy? Is he dealing with something psychologically because he doesn't look too confident. But if you take a look at this, and one guy is sneaking into the top 10 here, maybe even the top 5 in his career, and William Nylander. Matthews this year and very soon is going to pass Matt Sundin for the leading scorer in Maple Leafs history at just 28 years old. It's ridiculous. It's going to happen this year. There's going to be a ceremony. Nobody's talking about it. It's happening soon. It will be this season. He only needs 8 more goals to tie him. I feel like that is crazy that nobody's really talking about it. And I have to say that I think that Matthews will be just fine. He might be nursing something. Alex Ovechkin went through the same thing in his career. He had a couple years where he dipped down. He was dealing with injuries, right? So I'm not too worried about that. And I feel like he is just doing other things with his game. He's blocking shots, whatever he can to help this team win. And that's all, as a fan, I can ask for. Of course, I'd want him to score 70 goals. But if the team's winning and he's doing whatever he can to help them win, I'm happy.
Yeah, and obviously, again, the season has been up until this point pretty disappointing. But now you look at a couple different things. In their last 5 games, 4-1 against some very good teams. You beat, of course, you crushed the Hurricanes. And yeah, you look at the top 10. Willie is there in 9th. Of course, he surpassed Wendell Clark. And of course, you have Matt Sundin in number 1, Daryl Sittler, all these different guys. But again, a lot of people, I don't really. It's good. It's obviously a good accolade. I want to see him be good for the foreseeable future and really turn back the clock a little bit here. But you can see here, people are starting to take notice of it now. Vintage Austin Matthews is showing signs of life. Now, if you're not an advanced analytics guy, that's fair enough. But you can look at some of the advanced analytics here. And it's funny. You compare his first 19 games to his last 3 games, which is a pretty small sample size. But it's notable because he seemingly has gotten a lot healthier since then. A 59 XGF. And you can look at a bunch of the other advanced analytics. It is playing. And surprise, surprise, when he starts to do well like this, the team starts to win and has strung together 4 really good wins in the last 5 games here, which has led to all of a sudden, me at least, I'm sure you as well, like the team looks like they can
Sorry to
compete
cut you off, Nick,
for a playoff spot
the
again.
past, but we are back for the second period. It is underway. It just kicked off here. Puck is down in the second line, starting for the Toronto Maple Leafs. And we're back for the second period. Let me know how you feel in the chat about, obviously, everything we talked about in those videos. A couple updates from this morning. Wow. How did they miss that? Wow. They'll be way out of position. Well, not even out of position. I mean, you can only do so much. But, yeah, let me know how you feel about Troy Stetcher. We're talking about Austin Matthews there a little bit. You know, he's very close to breaking the goal record. So he needs 8 more goals to tie Matt Sundin, which is pretty crazy. But we are back here for the second period, well underway. Emil Lilleberg has not missed a game for the Tampa Bay Lightning this year. Nice play by McCabe in the defensive zone. To clear it, it gets out to the point. Tampa's trying to keep it in. They won't. Matthew Nyes is on it. Here comes Austin Matthews. He's in the zone. He makes a move into the inside. He gets 2 chances there. He misses. Brendan Hagel with the puck in his own zone. He gets it up to J.J. Moser. To Darren Radish. Darren Radish skates it into the zone to Sorelli in the slot. Sorelli shoots, and a nice glove save by Dennis. The Beast. Hildeby. Nice save. Wow, that was a nice play by Lilleberg to get it over to, I think it was Hagel, and he just tipped it wide. Nice play by Matthews to get it in on J.J. Moser. He gets 2 shots, 2 opportunities there. Cannot finish either of them. So he is still 8 goals away from Matt Sundin. Third line out there. Looks like it's going to be icing. Nope. McMahon beats it out, or maybe it just wasn't going to be icing. McMahon, a very underrated skater. He is a very fast player. Away out to the line. He dumps it in. Tampa out to center. Nice play by OEL to poke it off the stick of Braden Point. Dakota Joshua collects the puck. He throws it over to Simone Benoit. Simone Benoit to Nick Waugh. Say that 10 times fast. And good puck possession. He's going to kill some time. He gets it in deep. He goes off for a change. Third line's changing. Fourth line's out now. Puck has made its way to center ice. But Lawton traps that. And it's going back the other way with the Maple Leafs. And Dakota Mermis dumps it in. Deflects off something. It's down into the zone. Scott Lawton gives chase. Yarncroke throws it back into the zone. Nice play. Lorentz gets it towards the net. Big rebound for Yarncroke. And a big glove save, robbing Yarncroke from Johansson. I mean, Yarncroke, that was a great play by Lorentz. He gets the shot off the pad. Huge rebound into the slot. And Yarncroke is by himself. And he couldn't finish. And it's good placement. It's good placement. And Johansson with a big save. He robbed him. He robbed him. It's a big save. Wow. That's a large save. Yarncroak knows it. That's tough. That's a tough one. We know. Leafs lose the face-off in the offensive zone, but they give chase. Tavares gives it away. Rare Tavares turnover, especially in the neutral zone. He gets back into the defensive zone. Here comes Cowan out to center. He chips it to Nylander. Nylander in 1-on-2. Tavares shoots off the post. Nylander over to Tavares again. He shoots. Big block by the defender. Morgan Riley over to OEL. That is a big block by the defender. Great chance. Good play by Cowan to get it up to Nylander. Nylander turns and passes it, which he probably should have done on Saturday night, but here we are. Second line's going to get caught out there now. Matthews did change for Tavares, so Matthews is out there now. Holmberg gets taken down by McMahon in the defensive zone. The puck is in the corner in the Leafs zone. Matthews gets high stick. Nothing there. Puck comes back to the point. JJ Moser at the point. He sends it in deep. It's behind the Leafs goal. Kicked out to Cowan on the wall. Cowan backhands it to the line. It's kept in by Moser again. Troy Stecher has the puck. Good things happen when the puck's on his stick. Not this time. He's stripped by Kucherov. It gets sent back into the defensive zone. Bad play by Domi, but there it is. And Nyes gives chase. 1-on-1 in the zone. It's a puck race. JJ Moser and Matthew Nyes. Matthew Nyes wins the race. He chips it in front. Nobody there. And a giveaway to Tampa. Matthews collects the puck. He gets it back to Troy Stecher. They regroup to Dakota Mermis. Flipped into the zone. And turnover. Back into the Leaf zone. The puck is now behind the Leafs net. Benoit grabs it. Matthew Nyes trying to win that puck battle. He does not, but the Leafs remain with possession, and Mermis chips it out. Gets out to center. I don't know how that isn't a penalty. Suplex the guy. Gensel to the point. The puck is back in the defensive zone. Nice play by Nyes. He's going to get it out, I believe. I hope. Yep, up off the glass and out. McMahon to center. Nick Wall's got to get it in. Get that puck in. Get that puck in deep. Get that puck in. Brandon Point out to center. He's now in the Leaf zone. Couple nice moves. He gets it in deep. Puck's behind the Leafs net now. Dakota Mermis does a good job of defending. Here comes Simone Benoit. He takes a big hit from Brayden Point. McMahon streaking in. He takes a sharp angle shot, and it goes off the side of the net now. Here comes Law, and he regroups in his own zone. Riley with the puck up to McMahon. McMahon chips it in. He's going off for a change. Third line's changing. Nyes does score against the Florida teams a lot. He loves to play against Tampa. This is his favorite team to play against. He always scores against Tampa. I'm expecting a goal tonight. Shots are now tied 16 apiece. I lied to you. There was a shot on goal. It's 17-16 now for Tampa. As soon as I was saying that, Tampa gets a shot, of course. Another shot from the point. That's wide. Gonzalez takes a shot. That's blocked by Steven Lorentz. Morgan Riley has the puck. Out to center, just misses Yarncroak. Yarncroak gets nutmegged. Oh, nice little move by Gonzalez. Big save by Dennis Hildeby. Big save. Yeah. Suplex is how I would describe that play, actually, Papa Polly. Literally what it was. He just German suplexed the guy, and they were like, yep, no, that's cool, man. Actually, you should do that more often. Icing against Tampa here. Icing against the Tampa Bay Lightning. Puck in the offensive zone for the Leafs. Gets back to the point. Domi flings it behind the net. Matthews has it. He tries to wrap it. It's in front. Wow, Johansson makes the save and he covers it. Nyes almost gets that rebound, almost puts it in the back of the net, but did not happen. We are going to commercial break. To get a roll call going, we got quite a few people in here tonight. Appreciate all of you for tuning in for this watch along. Toronto Maple Leafs, Tampa Bay Lightning. Where's everyone watching from? Let's get that going in the chat. Where is everyone watching from? Is it Canada? Is it the United States? Is it Alberta? Is it BC? Is it Ontario? Is it Winnipeg? Is it one of the territories? Is it Nova Scotia? They are... It is a weird combination of they're creating chances, but it looks horrible. Like, it looks horrific, but they're creating chances. So, it is what it is. Let's keep going. Hopefully they can get one here. That would be nice, but we will... we'll see about that. It seems like a tight game so far. These are two good teams. I will maintain that the Leafs are a good team. I will maintain that. And Tampa, of course, top of the Atlantic Division right now. A awful Atlantic Division, keep in mind. Awful. Perry Sound. We got Scarborough. We got Bowmanville. We got Richmond Hill. We got Mississauga. We got Toronto. What's up, everyone? Thank you for tuning in tonight for some Maple Leafs hockey on Prime Video. Or I should say on Leafs Digest. Welcome into Leafs Digest. Yeah, I have no interest in Nedeljkovic. No interest in Nedeljkovic. No, no, no. London, Ontario. Shout out to the Knights. Stockholm, Sweden. What time is it there? It's got to be the middle of the night. Leafs are looking for a veteran goaltender. I hope not. Why would they be, though? Under 6.5 a lock. Listen, I'm not a betting man, but if I was, that sounds pretty good to me. Almost 3 a.m. in Sweden. Hey, Jose, how you doing? Thanks for tuning in. I hope you're enjoying the Leaf game. They're winning, so I'm enjoying it. Nylander with a nice play there at center. And it's chipped into the bench, and we will reset at sunrise. Jose is watching from Buffalo, New York. Shout out. Jose, are you from Toronto? Are you just watching from Buffalo? Are you in Buffalo just for something, or you live in Buffalo? Matthews looks sad. Matthews always looks kind of sad. He needs to get back to just like fist pumping after scoring, just looking like a rock star. Like, he needs to get back to that guy. Maybe he's just miserable because he's in pain. Who knows? We don't know, unfortunately. Puck is in the Leafs defensive zone. Darren Radich has it at the point. He shoots. It's off skates. A good block in front. Cowan has the puck now on the half wall. He chips it out to center, which is all you need. Nylander gives chase. And they're going to go off for a change. Reset. Reset. Cowan is left out there. He should be going for a change right now. Shout out to Dan from Perry Sound. He picked the Leafs to win tonight in his pool. I hope they win for you, sir. And I hope they win for my mental health. Because I need the Leafs to get back in a playoff spot. Oh, nice, Jose. Go Bills. Play is whistled dead. I think it's a hand pass, maybe? Watching from Slovakia. Shout out to you. Radislav. Is it Radislav? Let me know if I'm pronouncing it right. Radislav. Radoslav. I'll stop saying it. Let me know if I pronounce it right. Shout out to you. Watching from Slovakia. It's got to be close to 3 a.m. there too as well, right? It's got to be in and around there. Stetcher gets it down in the zone. Leafs won the face-off. Back behind the net. Domi gives chase. He loses the puck battle. Maybe the captaincy is a curse. I mean, Tavares didn't play. It's not a curse, though. Because how do you explain Matt Sundin? He was the last good captain, I think. Well, I like John Tavares. I like John Tavares. Nice gets it to Domi. He gets it across to Matthews, and Matthews just bobbles it, but it was kind of a weird play. That would have been nice. Oh, kept alive by Nice. He's driving the net. You should just probably shoot that on net, guys. Oh, and that somehow almost went in. Somebody got to shoot it. And I'm hoping it's 3-4. But, oh, nice save by Hildeby again off the rush, and the Leafs are back the other way. Bad pass. Nick Waugh grabs it. He's going back the other way. Chips it in. Morgan Riley gives chase? I guess. Chipped out to center. The Leafs are back on the rush. They're coming back into the offensive zone. McMahon drives wide. He's driving the net. I love it when he does that. Yes. We have a face-off in the offensive zone now. I love it when McMahon does that. Drive wide. Use your speed. Use your size. And then drive to the inside. Drive to the net. It's such like a lost art. I don't know why more guys don't do it. He's so good at doing it. Just do it all the time. I think so many teams are expecting you to either dump it in and the goalie will just stop it, especially if you rim it around, or you got to rim it hard off the glass. But a lot of teams are expecting that, or you to cut into the middle. And if you don't do that, you'll catch them flat-footed, and here we go. Murmur shoots from the point. Nothing there. No tip. Went wide. Leafs going to work on the forecheck there. Looks like they're starting to peel off for a change here. Taken back by Scotty Lawton. Regrouping for the Leafs. Yes, Jose, I do believe. I wouldn't say he's playing injured. I believe something happened that hasn't healed 100%. And he's continuing to play on it because it's not something... I feel like it's either something he doesn't want to get surgery on, which I can totally understand. Offside by Tampa. That should come back into the Tampa zone. They're going to a commercial here. 9:15 left in the first period. Got 15 up on the board. 9:15 left in the second period, excuse me. 1-0 Maple Leafs. And they're actually not far behind in the shot counter. This is a very competitive game. This would be absolutely heartbreaking if they end up losing this game. The Leafs need these 2 points. Now, do you believe Matthews playing injured? Yes, I believe something flared up. And that's just what I think. I don't know for sure. But he's probably playing through something that's lingering. He can't give it enough time to rest. I don't think he wants to get surgery on it because it would probably make it worse in the long run. So he's probably just playing through something. And I think at some point it, hopefully will heal. But he's clearly battling something right now. Clearly, like, he's not the same player he was. Not even close. I was watching highlights of his goals last night, and he used to just shoot it. Remember when he used to shoot it from, like, the circle a couple of years ago? Like, through the goalie's legs? Like, hard and low, quick. Like, you wouldn't even see it. Spin, shoot. He's not even doing that stuff. I don't even know if he's capable of doing it right now. So, when he's not doing that, I know he's not confident, and I know he's not confident because something's bothering him. It has to be. It has to be. So, we'll see. We'll see how the rest of the year plays out. How do we feel about Mermis? Here's how I feel about, like, moves like that. Why people, I feel like a lot of people don't realize, like, you need a guy like Dakota Mermis in your system because you don't, like, if somebody gets hurt, like it's happened this year to many teams, you don't want to be calling up William Villanove and being like, William, you got to play all these minutes and we expect you to do this and that. Let the kid play in the Marlies and continue to develop. Now, I think you can maybe give him a look as like a, you're progressing. We'll give you a look, stuff like that. But you can't throw him into a situation like that. Keep him. Yeah, he hits a post a lot this year too. But keep him in the Marlies and have guys like Dakota Mermis that can come in these situations, have NHL experience and can play at that level. I totally agree with that because you don't want to mess with the kid's development, right? Continue to do his thing. Don't let him worry about anything else. Oh, well, I got to go here. I'm being called up. I'm being sent back down because it's a paper transaction, blah, 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 blah. Let him continue his development. Not have to worry about all that garbage. I would like to see Villanova given a shot here in the NHL level, though. He looks awesome. He looks great. Gensel shoots just wide of the net. Plays back underway. Matthews giving chase here on Darren Radish. Looks like he, almost stole the puck from him. Nice with the puck. Yeah, when is that game against Marner? I believe there's one in Vegas first, right? I haven't looked at the schedule in a while. I think it's January, right? Jose, I do actually believe Cowan will be going down. If everyone comes back from injury at the same time, including Marshall Rafai, Cowan will be going to the Marlies. They can't afford everyone. And not only him going to the Marlies, they will be making a move. Riley almost just scored again. Nice shot. Shots are 19-18 for the Lightning. So much better shot counter and control of this game than in recent games. Actually, this might be one of the best games the Leafs have played in a while. It's calm, controlled. They're up 1-0. January 15th, Mitch Marner returns to Toronto. Mark your calendars. Don't be doing anything that night. I'm not going to say anything on this stream, but I do wonder what it'll sound like in there. I do wonder. That's a guy who knew he was leaving a long time ago. Cowan dumps it in. Nice. It was a good idea in theory, but they were changing. To place it there at least. Much better. Two on one. Lawton drag. Shoots. Just misses wide. Just misses wide. To Lorentz in the slot. This is a fourth line that will grind you down. Kept in by Stetcher at the line. That was pretty impressive. They will grind you down. Oh, January 10th is in Vegas. Okay. It's in Vegas then. I'm looking forward to that. That's going to be a good game, but I'm looking forward to the first Vegas game here. 2-on-1 for the Lightning. Hagel and Kucherov. Great play by McCabe to break that up. Unbelievable play, but they remain with possession here in the offensive zone. Kucherov is way too open. Good stick by Lorentz. And he's going to try and chip it out. McCabe has it now. He flips it out of the zone to get out unscathed. And no icing because it was tipped on a high stick by Steven Lorentz. I'm not going to say anything about whether I'll boo or not. I probably won't be in the arena anyway, but I'm not going to say anything. But all I'll say is I think I'm going to do a watch-along, guys. I think that could be a fun game. Slap pass across. Hildeby is right there. He looks good. 6 minutes left here in the second period. 1-0 Maple Leaf. Shots are 19-18 for the Tampa Bay Lightning. Icing against the Maple Leafs. Faceoff will come down into the Leaf zone. No way Cowan will go to the Marlies. He's way more useful than Michelli or Yarncroke. It's a numbers game. It's a numbers game. I don't disagree with you. Pantera Power. Is your username after the band Pantera? I totally agree with you that he is. He is, but it's a numbers game. And they'll get rid of some guys and they'll put some guys through waivers, but somebody's going to have to be moved. They're going to have to do something. But I don't know how you get rid of Cowan. It's just easy because he's on ELC. You can move him down to kind of buy yourself time until you make some other moves. So that's keep in mind that is just if everyone comes back from injury at the same time, which is unlikely. So yeah, shout out Pantera. Used to listen to some Pantera. January 15th, 9:30 start in Vegas. When is the 15th? Oh, nice play up to McMahon. Up to Nyes. Nice spins. He gets it to OEL. Ah, shot wide. Off the glass. January 15th is a Thursday. Yeah, Dimebag Daryl died very young. 2-on-1 again for Tampa. Not ideal. Good defensive play again, though. I believe that was Dakota Mermis this time. Nice play to break it up. The Leafs are back the other way. 3-on-3. Interesting play by Knight. I cannot believe he just kept that. Oh, he ruined it. How did he keep that onside and then he does that with it? Man. You know what, Leafs fans, though? Marner can score a hat trick all he wants. Show me a hat trick in the playoffs, brother. I know he's a good regular season player. Everybody's like, oh, look at all the, look at the respect walk. Look at all the points he puts up, and look at the points he's putting up in Vegas. Like it's a surprise. I know he did it here. I knew it was going to happen. It's not like he was going to go there and, do worse. Show me what he does in the playoffs. And not only that, in terms of production, don't cry. That's the other thing. Don't look at the refs every play. Stop. Put your head down, get to work. It's not easy to win the Stanley Cup. We got a Pantera concert going in the comments. I don't hate it. It's preferable over some other music. Nice play by Nylander in the offensive zone here. He's twisting and turning. He's looking for an open man. Stetcher's coming. Gets it to Cowan. Cowan brings it out to center. That was a waste. Yeah, I'd rather not talk about Marner. Let's stop. I am looking forward to that game, though. It'll be fun. It'll be a good atmosphere. I'm looking forward to it. That's one you get up for. Yeah, that's the thing. If you game plan for Marner that game, like, he's not going to score a point against the Leafs. Like, what are you talking about? He'd probably get the yips. He's at home. But enough about that. We got 2 minutes and 50 seconds left here in the second period. 1-0 Leafs. Shots are 20-18 for the Tampa Bay Lightning. And I have to say, this game has looked really, really good for the Leafs. They seem, more in control at times. Nice steal by Law, and he dumps it in. More in control at times. The game seems more controlled in terms of, like, they're not letting the shots on goal get out of hand. There haven't been too many, big high danger scoring chances for Tampa. They've cleaned up the neutral zone a little bit. Like, I've liked it. There's been a lot of turnovers, Tampa turnovers in the neutral zone, and I'm really liking that for the Leafs. So they look good. Dakota Joshua giving chase behind the net. He grabs the puck. Nice old-fashioned cycle here. Oh, Leafs get on goal. Nice save by Johansson. And he covers. Yeah, the game where they're honoring Joe Bowen, I believe that's coming up later this month. I'm really excited for that. I can't believe Joe Bowen's retiring. I mean, it's coming, right? Like Sam Rosen in New York. You know it's coming. But I cannot believe that's happening. Speaking of can't believe retiring, this Saturday, John Cena retiring. That's crazy. But, yeah, I can't believe Joe Bowen is retiring. It's crazy. I thought he would stick around for a couple more years, but Sam Rosen talked about it in New York that he was like, I got to start thinking about my health. He said he got sick on a road trip and it was really difficult for him. So, they're getting up there in age, and Joe is like, it's just going to be weird without Joe Bowen. He is the voice, like, synonymous with the Leafs. Like, you think of a voice with the Leafs, like, it's Joe Bowen. By the way, they're at commercial right now, but you think about, like, you hear his voice, you think of the Leafs. You know what I mean? And vice versa. So you can hear him with so many different players. It's going to be weird without him. And I do really wonder who takes over for him. Like, it's going to be weird. It's going to be weird. Yeah, I remember him talking, Joe Bowen, this is, about potentially retiring a while ago. I know a lot of people that retired from watching the Leafs after that Montreal series in 21. So that was a tough series. But yeah, I do remember there being some talk about him not coming back potentially. And the fact that he's not on TV, every other Canadian team has a local broadcast. Every other one. You watch the Vancouver games and they're local broadcasts, but they're on like Sportsnet and TSN. They have their local broadcasts. They have some national games, like Saturdays, whatever. But you tune into a Canucks game, you tune into an Oilers game, it's their commentator calling the game. The Leafs don't have that. Every single game the Leafs have is national, and I get it. Well, almost all of them, and I get it. Joe should be on some games. He should be on some games on TV. It's not the same. I remember who remembers Leafs TV? I used to like those games because it was Joe and crew, right? Jim Ralph, and it gave you a different feel. Like you had, yes, they're homers, but it gave you that feeling. I liked it. So I don't know. That happened 10 years ago at this point. Over 10 years ago. I can't believe it's been 10 years. Six, seven? 6-7? Anybody? Can we get it? Can we get some 6-7s in the chat? Yeah, Gary Neal on commentary as well. Harry Neal. Sorry. That was a good duo as well. Missed those days. Not always. Like, I can't appreciate a national broadcast, of course, but, once in a while, it's like, would like to have a homer broadcast. Come on. So many of the broadcasts are, like, anti-Leafs, too. A lot of people say it's, like, Leafs rule everything and everything's about the Leafs. Like, to a degree, yeah, because everyone cares about them, whether you like them or you hate them. And I can't say the same for other teams. Like, I don't like the Montreal Canadiens, but I don't spend every waking hour of my day looking at news about the Montreal Canadiens. Leafs going to get a penalty here. Holmberg gets taken down. I'm not sure who's going. It's for tripping. Skibbities in the chat. No skibbities. No, absolutely none of those. Might be Matthews going off here. No, it's OEL. OEL's going off. I'll make these cool little power play graphics, and I just realized they're both the same color. So you guys enjoy that. Tampa's on the power play for the last 1 minute, 16 seconds. Every time a fight would happen, Harry Neal said, I think we need a bigger rink. It's good times. Good times. Leafs on the penalty kill here to end the period. Now I'm saying, who do you think will come out on top? I think the Leafs will hold on here. They need another goal, though. They need another goal. I like how aggressive for as bad as the power play has been, I really like how aggressive the penalty kill has been. Like, I think the penalty kill has been pretty good. Just the eye test. Of course, we can look at the statistics and stuff like that. But how is that not interference at the line? A bit of a soft call, but if we're calling soft calls here in the regular season, puck out the center. There we go. We're cleared. Laurent's giving chase. Who's going to take over for Bowen? Chris Cuthbert. I like Chris Cuthbert a lot. I actually think he's one of the better play-by-play guys. I think you should give it to a younger guy. Like, I don't think a top dog shouldn't take it over. I think Chris Cuthbert should stay, like, national. I think the Leafs should give it to a young guy that can, like, grow, like, establish a new voice again. That's what I think. Give it to a younger broadcaster. I would give it to Matt Cullen. He does some Ottawa Senators games on TSN right now. I would give it to Matt Cullen, but I would give it to a younger voice. That is the end of the second period. The Lightning will start the third period with 43 seconds on the power play. The Leafs survive the period. They're still up 1-0. And I shouldn't say survive the period. They remain with the lead after 2 periods. So pretty good stuff there. And no, not Craig Simpson. I don't think he actually likes the Leafs just based on, hearing him. But I think they should give it to a younger broadcaster that can continue to do this for years and become the new voice of the Toronto Maple Leafs and become more synonymous. Like, you don't want to put somebody there that's, yes, good at their job, but then you got to replace them again in like 4 or 5 years. Put somebody there who's younger that can then, become the new voice of the Toronto Maple Leafs. I think that's what they should do. So that's just my opinion. Now, if they want me, I guess I'll do it. You know what? Like, if they reach out and they're like, hey, Darius, you want to do it? I'll probably think about it for a couple seconds, right? And I'll be like, sure. But I don't know if that's going to happen. But I would give it some thought, that's for sure. But I do think they should go with, you don't want to replace the guy after like 4 years or anything like that. So, no, Craig Simpson. I think Craig Simpson's good at his job. I just think you need somebody that's like, yes, go Leafs go, as your like Leafs play-by-play guy. But I do think Craig Simpson is good at his job. The broadcasters, when I was young, you could close your eyes and see the game. Today's broadcasters don't have the character to do that, I think. I would even argue, when I was growing up, like Jim Houston same thing. You could it felt monumental. It did. Him, obviously Bob Cole. Like Bob Cole is just a whole different animal. That guy's like that. Those calls gave you goosebumps, man. But I think that you got to give it to somebody younger. We will continue this conversation in a few minutes, guys. We will be back for the third period. But there's been a lot going on with the Toronto Maple Leafs the last little while, I would say. Not even last little while. I mean, last couple of days at this point. There's been a lot going on, but we are heading into the third period. Tampa Bay with the lead, but I will be back in a few minutes, guys. I'll be back for the start of the third, or just before the start of the third, but there's been a lot going on with the Toronto Maple Leafs, and in terms of the actual roster. But I think one thing that people haven't been talking about recently is, like, I went to a Marlies game on Saturday, and they have a lot of really good players down there and some young players. Like Luke Hames looked really good. He was creating some chances. They were also playing a now 19-1 Grand Rapids Griffins team. They've lost one game all year and then one game in a shootout. So that's ridiculous. And they kept it close. It was 3-2 final. They looked really good. They looked tight defensively. Pekska looked good in net. So a lot of people haven't been talking about the Marlies. Some guys who've like stepped up and looked really good. Alex Nylander had a crazy goal that game as well. A nice breakaway goal. But a lot of people aren't talking about the prospects on this team right now. And I think that they've found a few hidden gems and some other interesting things. So take a listen. I'll be back in a few minutes. Take a listen to what Nick and I had to say about one prospect in particular and a few other updates on the Leafs as of late.
The Leafs have found their hidden gem in what has been a very disappointing season thus far for the Toronto Maple Leafs. There is one player in particular that fans aren't talking about in the prospect department. Write down exactly who this is and discuss what it means going forward, as well as another player actually on the Leafs that has not only exceeded all expectations, but has truly shocked everyone. And this is going to play a big piece in the Leafs trade deadline plans. A ton to go over today, folks, but before we get into it all, if you're part of the percentage, you want to subscribe to the channel. Quick reminder to hit that subscribe button. Your guys' support has been unbelievable. Darius, we haven't been talking about prospects very much this year because all the focus has been on how bad the Leafs have been, changes at the top, changes within the personnel that the Leafs actually have on their team right now. We're going to be diving into a prospect a little bit and changing gears for at least part of this episode, and then, of course, we'll dive into a player that's on the Leafs later on. But, Darius, this is Harry Nancy, and he has started to really catch the eye of some scouts and, of course, of many Leafs fans because he is the Leafs' hidden gem, if you want to call him that. He started off really, really good this year, and we're going to dive into exactly who this is and how he impacts the Leafs going forward and what actual, impact he could have. Maybe not this year, but heading into the future as well. As a lot of their prospects, we're seeing an impact from Easton Cowan. Ben Danford's looking pretty good. He's the next man up. Ton of prospects, but Harry Nancy, not a lot of people are talking about him.
Yeah, and they've made a change in the drafting department as well. Of course, Wes Clark moved on to Pittsburgh, and then they got the guy who was doing the Dallas Stars drafts, most recently. And if you go look at the Dallas Stars draft history, the Leafs are in good company right now, of course. But this is a great move, and I'm very excited about this player. Not too many people are talking about this player, and we have a substantial sample size now at the OHL level because they've played a ton of games already at this point, and they're more than a quarter, through their season. He's been fantastic so far this year. If you look at his numbers from last year, he's already eclipsed them. Like he's going to score an insane amount of points this year. And when he was drafted last year, he's a 5th round pick, and he was drafted this past summer, right? You're thinking, okay, 5th round pick, we're not going to see this guy for a long time. And if we do, he's going to be a Marley. Usually that's what happens after the 4th round, something like that, right? And sometimes you get hidden gems kind of, in that department. And I feel like the Leafs might have one here. He's a player that you're thinking when they drafted him, okay, he's a project player. You're going to have to work with him in terms of, the skill is there. The raw skill is definitely there, but you're going to have to put things together, of course. He's going to work with the development staff, all of that stuff. In the summers, he's going to come into camp. He's going to learn things. He's going to get better. And then, he'll end up with the Marlies at some point, and then maybe he can be a call-up, something like that. At this point, he is ripping the OHL up on an Owen Sound attack team that is not that great. If you look at the standings, they're like middle of the standings right now in a Western Conference that is actually pretty strong. So we'll see where they end up landing, but he's been great so far this year. The point production speaks for itself so far this year. He's a centerman. I'm really excited to see what he does and continues with his development because he's going to be well over a point a game player at the OHL level this year, whereas he hasn't been in the past. Not even close. Like, I don't think people understand. He's already eclipsed his points production from last year when he was drafted in the 5th round. So everything's there. We were thinking, okay, it's going to take him a while to develop. You're going to have to work with him, all of that stuff, which makes sense. You see, these guys take massive leaps in the summers that they're drafted. When they come into camp, they learn and pick up things from obviously the guys at main camp. But he's been unbelievable in the OHL so far this year.
Yeah, let's look at his stats. Now, again, you mentioned 5th round pick. You date back to last year, even 23 points in 67 games, which is a pretty big increase. I think the biggest jump, you look at his 2023-2024 season, he had no goals in 41 games and only had 9 points. So his jump from 2023 to 2024 was massive. Obviously, 23 points and 9. And then this year, all of a sudden, he's at, well over a point a game. And you mentioned the Owen Sound team. They're 15 and 11. So where would they be without him? Who knows? Because they're not elite with him. It is truly, it's impressive. You look at some of the other guys on the Owen Sound, he's right up there with some of the, the best players on the team. And again, hidden gem is the perfect word to use because people, when they drafted Harry Nancy, I think we had a video on him or at least a part of a video covering him in the past. We were hoping he'd be able to, I think he was drafted at the time for what a project piece, basically, essentially, right? And at this point, what he could be. He's already jumped into that, and we've seen this now a couple times with the way that the Leafs have drafted. Now, obviously, they have a new drafting regime, but just in general, Easton Cowan, he kind of had that huge year and then tailed off a little bit. This is Harry Nancy, huge year for the Owen Sound attack, and I'm excited to see how he develops. He's only 18 years old, probably still a couple years away, but we're seeing more than ever now in the NHL, and it's different for him because he's not a highly touted, early round pick. But they're starting to push players a little bit, quicker than they may have used to. Not necessarily the Leafs, but you could argue that with Easton Cowan. But just in general across the NHL, we're seeing it this year with obviously, a lot of different guys around the league. And of course, Bedard and Mac Celebrini having their breakout years, which we all expected to happen eventually. Harry Nancy, not comparing him to them at all, but this is great for the Leafs, development system. And they're slowly but surely starting to get back into the game of actually developing NHL talent. Not saying Harry Nancy's doing that, but we're seeing it with Easton Cowan. He is an NHL player at this point.
Yeah, definitely. This is a welcome surprise this year because you look at his point totals and you're like, he's obviously going to do better coming into this year, but he's smashing it right now. He's unbelievable. And like you mentioned, he's still a couple years away, of course. Like he has to get bigger. He has to get stronger. He's 6'3", right? So if he fills into that frame, because he's only like 170 pounds right now, something like that. So if he puts on more weight, like he's going to be a tough player to play against. And he spoke out. He said he's trying to get better at puck battles. He had a tendency to kind of fall down a lot, is something that he said, a direct quote. So he's trying to get better at that. And, he's perfecting his craft down there at the OHL level. So I'm excited to see what he does the rest of the way. This is really good news for the Leafs. To get a guy in the 5th round that's taking strides like this already, just wanted to shed some light on this because he's been absolutely fantastic. So I'm excited to see what he does the rest of the way. And again, the OHL is really weird this year. A lot of players. Teams lost up to 15 players this year due to the new rules where they could go to college, the NCAA, all of that stuff. So the OHL is super weird this year. There's a lot of really good teams, and then there's some teams that are just horrible, but and a lot just kind of in the mix and that are very even. So I'm interested to see where Owen Sound lands, but I feel like they could make some noise in this year's playoffs.
Yeah, shout out to him, and also shout out to the Flint Firebirds for winning 11 straight games down there. It's a little bit crazy there. But let's dive into an actual NHL player who's had an impact this year, and that is OEL. He has scored the opening goal for the Maple Leafs yesterday, of course, to extend his point streak to 9 games, which is tied for second longest in franchise history by a defenseman, which is something that took me by surprise. And of course, the season he's having needs to be talked about more. Berube spoke about it recently. He did go out with an injury in yesterday's game. He did say, I'm hoping he's fine. I think he'll be okay, but we'll see. He said he's fine to me. I don't trust anybody's word within that locker room. So we're going to have to actually see if he plays next game because things are, I don't trust it at all. But you look at this, he's having a way better year than he did last year. He's having a fantastic season. And this has led some people, which is a little bit wild on Twitter, to talk about, hey, they're playing so poorly. OEL can net you some big draft capital at the trade deadline, which I don't think is the way they're going to go about it. But he is having specifically the best year of maybe not his career. You could argue that for sure, but definitely, of course, his brief late Maple Leafs tenure.
Well, the season hasn't gone the way that we all planned, of course. And I am enjoying, everybody on Twitter saying every time somebody has a good game, they're like, their trade stock is going up. I'm enjoying that stuff because it is funny. We have to have some fun with this season, of course. But OEL, unironically, like I think is their best defenseman right now on both sides of the puck. And he was really good last year, I thought. He has that, he plays with that edge. He plays on the line, right? You got to know where the line is, and he kind of plays on the line. So appreciate that. And that's the type of stuff that I think the Leafs need more of with a lot of their top players. So he's been awesome. He's been awesome so far this year. Again, like better than last year, that's for sure. He's on an incredible point streak that he might actually, break the record for the Leafs organization, which is insane. So he's been fantastic. Just wanted to shed some light on him as well, because we've been talking about a lot of like, this guy might get traded. They're playing poorly. It's on the forwards. They're not playing well defensively. OEL has been a bright spot this year. And again, like he's moving his feet. He's making good plays. I think like he's not horrific in the defensive zone, at least in my eyes this year. Of course, like nobody's really been fantastic this year, but like he hasn't been so egregiously bad every single game. So that's nice to see. So he's been awesome. He's scoring goals. He should be quarterback in the power play. I don't like the 5 forward power play thing, even after last night, even though they won. He should be quarterback in the power play at this point. Morgan Riley's been okay too, at least offensively. But to me, OEL's been their best defenseman. And I don't know if that's a good thing, but it is good that he's playing well.
Yeah, we can look at the stats briefly here because they might surprise you. It is quite the interesting turn of events here. 20 points in 25 games, which makes things very, very interesting. Also, a couple quotes here for free to pause and read them if you want some more scouting on Harry Nancy. Puck battles is the biggest thing, but one final thing before I wrap up, Darius. I'm starting to see some tweets as well about if you can get OEL at age 32 in free agency for the amount they got him. What's the point of having Morgan Riley and paying him the amount of money you have been and you can? I'm not saying I agree or disagree with it. It's just some things where I'm seeing online that has fans. I mean, it's that kind of year. It's been a bad year, but hopefully Leafs turn things around. But also, hopefully Harry Nancy can keep this up. Let us know down below if you've heard about Nancy, keeping an eye out on him, and if not, now you will be. Thank you guys for watching. The Leafs are forced into an impossible decision that no one saw coming in what has been a season full of injuries for the Toronto Maple Leafs, and new rumors and speculation have started to drop surrounding the future of one Leafs goaltender. We're going to break down exactly what this is and discuss what it means going forward, as well as a ton of other updates following pretty disappointing loss in a shootout yesterday against the Montreal Canadiens. A ton to go over in this episode, folks. Before we get into it all, if you're part of the percentage who aren't subscribed to the channel, this is the place to be for daily Leafs content. Darius, lots to go over today, and let's just dive right into it here. And there's obviously been a lot of talk surrounding the Leafs injuries, and of course, there's been a lot of forwards injured. The Leafs are finally starting to get healthy now, but there's been some speculation. There's been some talk among fans about how good Dennis Hildeby has been and the abundance now all of a sudden of goalies that the Leafs have. And I know it's early. There isn't a ton of sample size for Hildeby, but the future of two of their goalies could not be in jeopardy necessarily. It could be used as a potential trade piece as we approach a trade deadline here. We look at Dennis Hildeby's game yesterday. 33 out of 34, 33 saves and 34 shot attempts was unbelievable. Really was the star of the game. And of course, you lose in a shootout. He's never had a shootout in the NHL before. But this now begs the question about, the future, not necessarily of Anthony Stolarz or Joseph Woll or even Dennis Hildeby, but just in general, the amount of goalies that they have now on their team because of the injuries makes things very interesting. And they're going to have a tough decision to make here pretty soon.
Definitely, yeah. And there's been talk now all of a sudden after the game. I was listening to JD Bunkus and Sam McKee, and they were talking about how maybe you trade a goaltender now at this year's trade deadline, right? Maybe it's one of Joseph Woll or Anthony Stolarz that you trade. And I don't know if I want to go that far right now, because I think you do still need some depth, because we've seen them both get injured, and now obviously Hildeby is the starter for the next couple of games. So at least for this season, but you're going to have to make a decision here shortly, I think, because Hildeby's coming off of his ELC. He's going to have to be re-signed, and then you're going to have to deal with waivers. And the other guys have multi-year contracts still, right? They still have to play out the rest of their contracts. And obviously Joseph Woll, I love him. I think he's a great goaltender, but hasn't really been able to stay healthy his entire NHL career at this point. Anthony Stolarz, of course, down with an injury, and we have no timeline on that. So something you have to look at. But one thing that is really good, and that we have to talk about is, Dennis Hildeby looks like a completely different goaltender. And I think at some point you had to expect, he was going to continue his development. He was going to be that guy. And at some point you're expecting him to be the starter of the Leafs at some point in his career, right? So he does look like that guy now, where I think he is slowly taking steps. Of course, he still has moments where you're like, whoa, that's a little bit crazy. He doesn't look that calm or poised in the net. But last night was a good example of what I think is to come for this goaltender. And when you look at Akhtyamov, who backed him up yesterday, he looks really good. I think he actually has a higher ceiling than Hildeby. Will he reach that? I don't know. And then you have Pekska down there with the Marlies, who I watched live yesterday against a 18-1 Grand Rapids Griffins, who looked fantastic and kept the game close. He looked amazing. So he's another guy that you have in the system who's relatively young. So they have an abundance of goaltenders right now. I do wonder if you know, at least think about it at this point, because Hildeby does look like at some point he's going to be the guy. He's still young, but his performance yesterday, I think, started turning heads in the mainstream. That's for sure.
Yeah, and obviously you look at Hildeby, great game yesterday. Beyond that, Akhtyamov is called up. So they have two very young, one rookie, one a guy in Dennis Hildeby who's played a little bit at the NHL level, but not a ton. And Joseph Wall, we don't really know what he has left, at least for the next couple of weeks. He's obviously going to have a great career ahead of him, but he's injured for now, and they have a ton of question marks. And Stolarz, like you mentioned, hasn't even started skating as of December 4th. Is this the time to move on from, whether that be, again, Anthony Stolarz is injured, but Joseph Wall, Anthony Stolarz, or maybe the answer is right in front of us at Dennis Hildeby because of the fact that he is on a 3-year entry-level contract as an RFA. He's not making a ton of money. Is there a team out there, and there probably is, that values him more than the Leafs because of their abundance of goaltending depth? I think you can make a case for trading any one of these three, though I think the most likely is probably a guy like Dennis Hildeby, assuming by the trade deadline Stolarz and Wall are healthy. And it also depends a lot on their faith in some of their other guys. Now, obviously, these have been the goaltending stats this year for all the goalies in the Leafs. Caden Primo no longer with the team, but Joseph Wall has been really good, 2.44 GAA. But you look at Dennis Hildeby, he's actually put together a very, very good year quietly. A 927 save percentage, a 2.51 goals against average in 8 games. He's been kind of quietly here and secretly good for a while. 8 games, yes, small sample size, but not that small given how many games were only been played, 28 games. You could make a case to trade Hildeby while his value is where it's at now, and then, of course, go with Stolarz and Wall going forward, because you mentioned they're either going to have to extend him. I'm sure Des Hildeby wants to find a place where he can play every single day. He clearly has that at least, ceiling. And now that's where the question starts to become interesting, especially with the recent extensions of both Stolarz and Wall.
And things are going to get complicated once Hildeby gets that new contract, like I mentioned, waivers and all of that. And I do actually believe, because of the condensed schedule this year, and not only that, just because of what we've seen in the league and around the league the last couple of years, the NHL should probably, if they're implementing rules for LTIR now, where you can't do what the Florida Panthers and the Tampa Bay Lightning did, why can't we have third goaltenders in the league now? Anyway, that's the end of that rant, but I do think that's something they should look at soon. But it does get more complicated with Hildeby moving into the future. Is he the guy you move off of? Personally, I don't know if I want to see a Tuukka Rask 2.0 situation where I think that this is what that could be. So to me, I mean, it could make some sense. It depends what you get back in return, of course.
Past, but we are back, ladies and gentlemen, for the third period. The puck has dropped and the Tampa Bay Lightning remain on the power play. 30 seconds left in this power play. The Leafs have the puck and they send it down. But welcome back for the third period, everyone. And thank you for tuning in to this watch along. We appreciate you being along for the ride here to see if the Leafs can close this out. 1-0 for the Leafs. The shots are 20-18 for them. Big save by Hildeby there. 10 seconds left in this power play. Got 5 seconds left in this power play. Kucherov's holding. He's patient to the front. Big block by, I believe, McCabe. Some more rough stuff right after the whistle here. I think the Maple Leafs are going to win. They're going to hold on to this lead, and I believe they're going to build on this lead as well. It's been a frustrating game, I think, for Tampa Bay, but Hildeby has been up to the task. He's been really good. Showing a highlight package of Hildeby. He's been very good tonight. Very, very good. Let's hope he can keep this up and the Leafs can hang on to this win. Also, the goal by the end of tonight, if you are new here, as you can see in the bottom right of your screen, 23,521 subscribers. The goal tonight, by the end of tonight, 23,530. So if we can get 9 more people, if you're new here, to hit that subscribe button, would appreciate that. And if you're watching live right now, let's get a roll call going. Where are you watching from? Are you watching from Alberta? Are you watching from somewhere in Ontario? Where are you watching the Toronto Maple Leafs and the Tampa Bay Lightning from tonight? Domi takes a shot. Nice save by Johansson again. Shots are now 23-19 for Tampa Bay. Still in the lead. They remain in the lead in that category. High danger scoring chances, I think, have been probably even. I would like to see them after the game, but I want to say they're even. Maybe Tampa does have the edge in that. But after the second period, when leading, the Leafs are 6-3-1, and that is good for last in the entire league. Good stick by Max Domi on the back check there. Attention to detail by everybody. We appreciate that. We like to see that. Taylor Radish could possibly be on his way out of New York. I think that would be very interesting. And, of course, Darren Radish with the Tampa Bay Lightning, his brother. Having a really good season as well with a lot of injuries. Tampa's dealt with some injuries this year as well. Obviously, Vasilevsky's hurt right now. Kucherov just came back today. But they're top of the Atlantic Division. Nylander out the center. He chips it past Lilleberg and on goal. He gives chase still. Cowan's with him. I do like the Rangers. There's a lot of teams I don't like. I like the Rangers. There's a couple teams I like. I like the St. Louis Blues. I don't mind the Dallas Stars. You know, there's a couple teams that I don't mind. A couple teams I don't like. I don't like the Ottawa Senators. I don't like the Montreal Canadiens. I don't like the Boston Bruins. And I don't like Tampa, but I respect Tampa. And I like John Cooper. And I think that, and maybe it's because the Leafs did end up beating them in one playoff series, but I can appreciate what Tampa's put together the last 10 years or so and what John Cooper's been able to do with that longevity. Taylor Radish would be a very interesting ad for the Leafs. A lot of veteran experience. He can you know, add some scoring, I think. Some scoring. He was actually like fourth in scoring for the Rangers for a while. Oh, big hit by Bobby McMann in the defensive zone. Oh, that is a different play. Gonzalez hits Mermis, and he's down. Nick Waugh going after him. There's some rough stuff at center here. Who is that cross-checking guy? Now there's a fight. Dakota Joshua and Crozier. There is a fight, ladies and gentlemen. Dakota Joshua. Yeah, you don't do that to our players. This is what we're talking about. Stand up for your own teammates. Yeah, Joshua's throwing bombs. I mean, this... Oh, boy. All right, they wrestle to the ice. Holmberg's always been a good player. I just think that you have to go in a different direction, but I never really hated him. I just questioned, like, usage and stuff like that sometimes. And some decision-making by him. But I think he's actually a very smart player. And, yeah, what is this? Okay, puck's gone. He still closes the hit. He takes out his knee. Goncalves, yeah, that's a knee on knee. That's a late hit and it's a knee on knee. Joshua drops the gloves. Joshua and Crozier went at it there. What are the penalties here? I think Tampa's getting an extra. Tampa is getting an extra. Goncalves is getting a penalty. Goncalves is getting a penalty. John Cooper's not happy. Goncalves just got a major penalty. Crozier and Joshua both get 5 minutes for fighting, and Goncalves has got a 5-minute major. For kneeing, yeah. He knees Dakota Mermis. That was a knee. This is a better angle. They haven't showed this angle yet. Oh, that's... He doesn't even attempt to get out of the way. That's a knee on knee, right to the knee. Is he out of the game? I think they're reviewing the penalty. They call it a 5 now because they know they can review it, so they're reviewing it. It could just be no penalty. I think that is definitely a 2-minute penalty. Matthews went to the locker room as well? I'm not going to confirm that. I'm just reading from the chat, Joshua. I'm not confirming that. I haven't seen it. That's a knee. It's a 2-minute penalty in my eyes. If they call no penalty here, I think it's the only reason they wouldn't is because it's a late call, but they're looking at it. It's a knee. I think Crozer just threw Dakota Joshua's glove. What's up with that? Here we go. There's a big hit, and then Goncalves goes right through his knee. Definitely a penalty. I'm not sure if it's a major. I don't know if Matthews went to the locker room. I can check Twitter because sometimes the insiders have that. They're not showing it on the broadcast, so I'll check for you guys, but I'm looking at these replays, guys. This is a knee on knee. This is a penalty. Matthews is on the bench, guys. Matthews is on the bench. I can confirm Matthews is on the bench. Game misconduct and 5 minutes for kneeing. And then 2 5-minute majors. Toronto got a high sticking penalty? Does that offset for 3 minutes then? 2 minutes, sorry? So game misconduct for Goncalves for kneeing. I don't know, guys. I don't know. I don't know, guys. He's out of the game. 5-minute penalty for kneeing, and then there's a high sticking penalty to Bobby McMahon. So the Leafs go on the power play in 2 minutes for 3 minutes? What is going on here? They're trying to figure this out. No, I heard a high sticking penalty. They just called a high sticking penalty on somebody. I think that's what Berube's trying to understand. What just happened? Who got a high sticking penalty? Wait, what? Where's the McMahon play? They're not showing the McMahon play. It's a 5-minute. It's a 5-minute match penalty for McMahon, so it's offsetting. Where is this? Okay, they're showing it now. Oh, he does hit him in the head. Oh, he hit him in the head. They were shoving and he hit him in the head with his stick. 2 5-minute penalties. So McMahon got a... They just showed it, Prophet. Wow. Okay. Hold on. I'm going to start... Wow. Okay, so they just showed the replay. McMahon hits him in the head with his stick because like it was a scrum and he's trying to punch him back. Nylander 2-on-1 with Tavares. Diving play and the puck is cleared. So everything's offsetted. There's no power play. And play continues. McMahon got a match penalty for slashing the guy or hitting the guy in the head with a stick. Good chance by Nylander. Very odd. I've never seen that before. So McMahon gets kicked out. Still 1-0 for the Leafs, by the way. Shots are 23-18. Yeah, the bench did stand up. They noticed that the slash happened. So I guess that's why that fight happened, but... Well, I thought the fight was... I guess I missed something then. I thought the fight... Oh, big save by Hildeby. Big save by Hildeby. Oh! Oh, off the post! Domi to Matthews off the crossbar or the post, one of the two. That would have been nice to go up 2-0. Nice, keeps the play alive in the offensive zone. Sorry, I was just trying to figure out the clock and the whole and the broadcast is like, why did he get kicked out? Matthews off the post. Great play by Domi. It wasn't on purpose, but he hit him in the head. You got to give him the penalty. I get it, but it's so stupid. And then the other guy gets a penalty for kneeing, which he did, but they didn't even see the initial play. But now they're calling that and pretending like they saw it. Oh, my God. Whatever. Whatever. Morgan Riley needs one more goal to tie Tim Horton for most game opening goals in Maple Leafs history. By defenseman, I believe. By defenseman. I have to say, Matthews looks really weird in a Bauer helmet again. Very odd looking. Face-off won by Tampa Bay in the Leafs zone. Battling for the puck in the Leafs zone here in the corner. There's 15 minutes left here in the third period. 1-0 Maple Leafs over the Tampa Bay Lightning. Very eventful game, honestly, outside of the score. There's been a lot of rough stuff and some good saves and a fight to match penalties. Been a lot. Yeah, the double IHF refs are horrible. Speaking of World Juniors, Justin Carbonneau being left off Team Canada. We'll see. We'll see if it works out for them, but that's an odd one to me, guys. That is an odd one. A lot of really good players that got invited to camp, but that's an odd one to me. I think you would want one of the leading scorers in the CHL on your team. But hey, they've won gold before making some questionable decisions. We'll see what happens. I wonder, I hope there's no automatic suspension rule for a slash to the head. Because he didn't do that on purpose. Like, I wonder if that... Hopefully it's not automatic. And I am just making that up. I don't know for sure. But... That is an intentional offside. Play should go all the way back to the Tampa zone when we return from commercial break. We've had a fight. We've had a couple posts. We have had some big saves from either goaltender. 1-0 Maple Leafs. First commercial break of the third period. 14 minutes left in the third. And we've had 2 match penalties. Crazy, crazy. Why does everyone say the refs favor the Leafs? It's actually quite the opposite. I think it's actually quite even. I'm not going to lie. I think they're equally as bad for and against the Leafs all the time. And I don't understand how people could say they're always in the Leafs' favor. It's crazy. But people are always going to say that. There are, like, Leaf fans, in terms of other fans and other teams, you're, like, neutral. You don't care what happens to them, right? There are Leaf fans and Leaf haters. There's no in between. There's no gray area. There's nobody that doesn't have an opinion on the Leafs. There's nobody that is indifferent about the Leafs. You like the Leafs or you hate the Leafs. That's it. And if you're not a Leafs fan, you're gonna be like, oh yeah, the refs favor the Leafs. Come on. I think it's somewhat even. Like, I don't think that, you know, it's super egregious or anything like that all the time. There are some bad calls, of course, but the Leafs have to do a better job of drawing penalties. I think it comes down to that, honestly, and some other teams are really good at doing it. But yeah, definitely lost more than win more because of the refs. But I feel like when that happens, like when other teams win because of stuff like that, they don't even look at it that way. But I could be wrong. Yeah, Bjorkstrand did bait that high stick a little bit. But I don't even think McMahon was trying to do that. I think he was trying to get him up high. Like, get him, not with a cross check, but get his hands in there. And the stick came over the top. I don't think he was trying to do it. They were kind of tied up. It was not intentional. And the knee didn't even look like that malicious. I've seen way worse, but it's a knee. But that slash wasn't intentional, but he hit him in the head, and that's a match penalty. So you got to call it, right? They're showing the Domi play. Nice play, and Matthews, hits the knob of the stick. I thought it hit the crossbar. That was close. We're back from commercial. Puck has dropped. The play is in the Tampa zone, but quickly coming out to center. Point skating it out. Moser takes a shot blocked by Easton Cowan. Cowan gets it out to the middle of the ice. Morgan Riley to William Nylander. He chips it in the zone and gives chase. Yeah, Kerry Fraser's a different story. Awful. Darren Radge just took down Troy Stecher without the puck. So, come on, Leafs. Let's get skating here. Let's get skating. Please. They're pinned in their own zone. They also loaded up in the offensive zone for that faceoff with Nylander on the top line again instead of Domi. And it's biting them in the butt right now because... big hit by McCabe on Cirelli. Big hit. And a giveaway by Hagel to Matthews. And Matthews passes off. Use your shot, man. Use your shot. Domi back to the point to OEL. OEL gets it back deep to Max Domi in front to Matthews. And he just misses the puck. I don't believe Dakota Mermis has returned to the game, by the way, guys. I don't believe he's returned. Domi to OEL to Benoit. Shoots it behind the net. The Leafs are cycling around here in front of the net. And Domi's had 2 backhand passes go right through the crease, and both Matthews and Nyes have not been able to pick it up. Yeah, Jake McCabe is a beast. Get off the ice. Get off the ice, Nyes. 4th line out for the Leafs now. And Nyes, he didn't get off. Steve Lorentz is off right now because he is waiting for Nyes to change. Nyes gets the change. Lorentz out to center. It's chipped to center. Finley turns it away. A lot of neutral zone turnovers for the Lightning tonight. Lorentz almost busts through on an offensive chance. He almost had a breakaway. Nick Paul into the defensive zone for the Leafs. Back to the point. Shot wide. Lorentz is going to flip that out to center. It's out to center to Yarncroke, who chips it to an offside Scott Lawton, who now peels off for a change. We got, in the middle of play here, we got a $10 donation from Robert. Thank you, Robert. Thank you, Robert. $10. He said, a match penalty is a 5-minute major penalty, a game misconduct, and an automatic review for a suspension or a fine. So, me thinks that Bobby McMahon is going to be hearing from the NHL tomorrow. I was wondering if it was going to be automatic because it was a match penalty. I was saying a couple of minutes ago. I do wonder about that, but I didn't know if it was automatic, but it looks like it's going to be. So that stinks. But Robert, thank you for your donation. Your support on the channel is always appreciated. And you've been here since the very beginning as well. So really appreciate you, man. Thank you very much. This stuff is only possible with you guys, man. You guys are awesome. Thank you so much for tuning in. I really, really appreciate it. Kucherov throws it through the crease. Cirelli gets it at the point. Back to Darren Raddysh. Darren Raddysh back to Kucherov, who, oh no, how did that get through? Big save by Hildeby, who looks calm and composed tonight. Right through the crease, and it's going to go the length, not the length of the ice, out to the neutral zone. Darren Raddysh gets it back. It's going back in the zone. Kucherov has it. He gets it in deep. Here comes OEL. He's trying to break it out. He gets it to Domi. Domi gets it to the center of the ice. Matthews chips it in. Nyes and Matthews give chase. Nice keep by Stecher to Domi. Domi shoots off the stick of Moser and out of play. 9:34 left to go in the third period. The Leafs are up 1-0 over the Lightning. The game is getting physical. There's been 2 match penalties. There's been a fight. McCabe just laid a huge hit on Anthony Cirelli. And we're heading to what could be the last commercial break of this game. Last roll call of the night, ladies and gentlemen. 118 of you in here. Appreciate every single one of you for watching along here with the Toronto Maple Leafs and the Tampa Bay Lightning. The game is almost done. Hopefully it doesn't go to overtime. Hopefully the Leafs hold on to this lead. This would be devastating to surrender this lead at this point. So they better win, or I'm going to be freaking out in our video tomorrow. That's what's gonna happen. But yeah, Austin has looked really good today. Still passing off too much. I wonder if it's psychological. I do. Roll call. Where's everyone watching from tonight? One more after this. We got Alberta in the house. Profit. Alberta's in the house. A lot of great Leaf fans up there. Up to the west. Leaf fans everywhere, to be honest. I mean, it's a little crazy. There's Leaf fans everywhere. Coming back from Bowmanville still. Yeah, Andrew, you haven't moved? You haven't moved in the last 2 hours? Nice to see that. Hope everyone's doing well on this Monday night as well. Of course, start to the week. Everybody hates Mondays, but hopefully a Leafs win can make it a little bit better for everybody, and I would certainly appreciate that. So I'm rooting for them to hold on to this lead here, and I mean, Tampa's been playing well. It's been a good game. I mean, they're getting outshot again, but not aggressively. So 6-7 in the chat. Ontario from Jonathan. No, not yet. You haven't moved yet. Coming back from commercial here, ready for the drop of the puck. Yeah, I've noticed that too, Prophet. He's one of those guys with like a screw loose, I think. And you need some of those. Like, I remember Darcy Tucker was kind of like that. You need those guys on your team, man. What did everyone think about that breakaway slap shot goal from Scott Lawton on Saturday night against the Canadiens? I thought that was some rock star stuff there. Tomorrow is my birthday, and this Saturday I'm going to the Leafs versus Oilers. Nice. I hope you enjoy. Should be a good one. Connor McDavid in the house. Zach Hyman's back. So many Leafs on that team. I don't think Connor Brown's there anymore. He went to New Jersey, but a lot of Leafs on that team. A lot of turnovers in this game from both teams. But I hope you have a very nice birthday. Hope you have a really nice day. And I hope you enjoy that game on Saturday. And I hope everything goes well. And you get to see Connor McDavid get shut down by Dennis Hildeby or maybe Joseph Woll. Nice save by Hildeby again with lots of traffic in front of him. Hildeby is playing good tonight. He is playing very, very well. Taylor Radish's brother does play for the Tampa Bay Lightning. His brother is Darren Radish, and he plays defense. And I got to watch him play live in an OHL final for a stacked Erie Otters team that had Cirelli on it. It had Eric Cernak, who also plays for the Lightning. It had Dylan Strome. It had Alex DeBrincat. It had there's a bunch of other guys. I can't even think of them, but bunch of other guys. Robert says the Oilers are on fire. Leafs have been looking pretty good too. Perrystown, Ontario, and enjoying every minute of it. Thank you. Thank you for tuning in. I appreciate you guys. McCabe has played 609 minutes. 610 minutes this season. Since he's on the ice right now. That's crazy. Stetcher's been playing a lot of minutes for this team as well. What year? 2017 OHL final. 2-on-1, Matthew Nyes and Austin Matthews. Matthews shoots and he's stopped by Johansson. Stopped by Johansson. The puck goes out. This game almost reminds me of old playoff hockey. I totally agree, Robert. $5 donation, another one, and the puck is out of play with 8 minutes left in this third period. We'll get this rocking for you. Thank you again for your donation, Robert. Your support on the channel has been unbelievable. And again, just a reminder, guys, all of this is not... This community is awesome. We appreciate all of you guys who tune in every day. I love talking the Leafs. I love all the updates, all that stuff, but you guys make it possible. So thank you everyone for tuning in. Thank you anyone who's ever donated to the channel, and anyone like Papa Polly at the, in the first period that was giving off donations. Like stuff like that is just awesome. Like I love that stuff. So Thank you. Shout out to Jim, who was donating a bunch last year. I'm forgetting a bunch of names. We got Eric last year. Thank you guys. Like, your support is unbelievable. This doesn't work without you guys. So we appreciate you guys. Thank you for tuning in every day. And if you didn't know, like, we're obviously on YouTube, but we're also on Spotify. Like, if you want to listen in the car or something, you can listen. And thank you, Shane. How could I ever forget about Shane? But you can listen in the car as well. We're on Facebook. You can find us on Facebook. You can find us on TikTok and Instagram. We're on everything, but this doesn't work without you guys. So thank you, everyone, for all the donations and the support and the good chats. I appreciate talking hockey with you guys in the chat. Everybody's got some, not everyone agrees on everything, but that's the fun in it, right? So appreciate everybody. Puck is behind the Leafs net. They're looking to break it out. Lawton to Stetcher. Stetcher to the neutral zone. Flips it in. No, I don't miss the 34-16 duo anymore. I don't. I get sad. I get sad thinking about it sometimes because I was like, man, that was supposed to be so great. Like, we were promised so much in that era, and nothing happened. So no, I'm. Not only do I not miss it, I am in fact sick and tired of it, and I'm glad that it ended. I try something else, man. You got to try something else. I would have been sick if they ended up doing the same thing. Your prime is behind because you're on TV and not a computer. Maybe. I think it's the same. I say by Hildeby again. I think it's all the same. I could be wrong, though. Shots are 26-20 for Tampa now. That was a weird icing, but icing nonetheless is called. Don't get a bunch of Leafs coverage down here in North Carolina, so I appreciate you guys relying on you guys for coverage. Thank you. Appreciate that. We keep you guys up to date. We got daily upload. We have not missed an upload on this channel. At least one a day, and I mean every day, including summers, 365 days a year, 7 days a week. We have not missed an upload since March of 2024. But you guys make it possible. We have not missed a single upload. I was on vacation, we were uploading. Nick was on vacation, we were uploading. We keep you guys informed. Oh, Benoit almost scored. We keep you guys informed, and you guys, Riley scored in the first period, 1-0 Leafs. Try to keep you guys informed with what's happening with the Leafs and any rumors that are out there. So, but you guys watching, you guys supporting, giving your thoughts, all that stuff, that's what makes it work. So we appreciate you guys. And you guys are as much a part of the conversation as we are in the videos. We look at the comments, we interact here on the chat. You know what I mean? Like, it's a lot of fun. Leafs do need a lot of things. They need some juice right now. That's what they need. Who has the orange slices? Who brought the... Where are the Kool-Aid jammers? Tavares out to center. Another 2-on-1. He gets it. There's a penalty coming to Tampa for a hold. Tavares keeps it up. Thank you, Shane. I appreciate it. Hildeby to the bench. They're killing time. Riley has the puck in the defensive zone. 1-0 Leafs. They're going to the power play. There's 5 minutes left in the third. And they're reloading. They still haven't given the puck up. Now it's to Matthews. He's trying to gain the zone. He gives it back to Nylander. Nylander to Riley. Riley has it. He's trying to give it back in. Tampa touches up. And when they come back from commercial, there is 4:57 left in the third. Tampa gave up another odd man rush. Gensel holding up Tavares. That's a major hook. Tavares trying to get it over to Nylander. Couldn't. The Leafs are headed to their second power play of the game. And an opportunity to possibly put this game away. Now, if you are new here, we got a bunch of people in the chat right now. We got a bunch of people watching live. The game is almost done. We're headed for a wild conclusion here. If you are new here, you can see on the bottom right of your screen, we are just a few subscribers away from hitting 23,530. That is our goal by the end of the night. 8 more subscribers. If you are new here, hit that subscribe button. If you want to stay up to date with what's going on with the Leafs, we keep you guys up to date every single day, 365 days a year. August 13th, August 14th, 15th, when it's dead, we're talking Maple Leafs, right? Because we know you guys miss it. We're here talking Maple Leafs hockey, so hit that subscribe button if you're new. Get to stay up to date with what's going on with the Leafs. And alternatively, if you hate the Leafs, if you're in here and you hate the Leafs, hit the subscribe button because we see you guys every day as well. The haters are very prevalent. Let's go. Shane, have a beer at Chuck's on me. Shout out. Hold on just a second. This is a donation from Shane, ladies and gentlemen. Shane, thank you. Thank you very much. $5 from Shane. Shane has been here Shane has been on the channel since before I was on the channel. Shane has been watching Leafs Digest and Jays Digest since before I was here. So that's a long time because I've been doing these videos for a long time. So I appreciate you, Shane. He says, have a beer at Chuck's on me. Shout out to Chuck's Roadhouse. Half off apps after 9 o'clock. Thank you so much, Shane. Appreciate it. On a serious note, thank you very much. Appreciate your support all the time. And I know sometimes you throw on the lives and stuff in the background. So look, and Shane, a member for 19 months, just re-upped. He is a member of the elite tier. We got to give shout out to Shane one more time. The super chat. We got the super Matthews. And speaking of Matthews, Lake Prophet just scored. Sorry, he's going to score here. One-timer from Matthews. He almost actually scored. And the puck comes out. Where can you get a beer for $5? That is a great question, isn't it, Andrew? Chuck's Roadhouse. We got 4:40 left here in the third period. Dennis Hildeby is in net for the Leafs for Toronto. And another great game. I'm not saying anything, but I'm starting to think of something. I've actually been thinking about it for a while. But I'm not going to say anything. Riley, you got to keep that puck in, man. Oh, nice cutback. Hegel's in the dust. Oh, get that puck in deep. Bad play by Nylander. Whoa. That was dangerous. They're going off for a change. The Leafs need to regroup. Aren't they getting rid of the beer store? Is the beer store an Ontario thing? Chuck says $5, 18-ounce drafts, Canadian button, etc. during Leafs and Jays games. Yeah, during the games, I think, right? I think I saw that. Oh, that's the advertisement. I see. Leafs keep it in. McCabe keeps it in. The second unit's out there right now. Not much going for the Leafs power play again. 30 seconds left on this one. I'm thinking the thing, but I'm not saying it. Listen, I'm not saying it. You're all thinking the same thing. Don't put this on me. We're all thinking the same thing. I'm not going to say it till it happens. And I'm going to put it to the back of my brain now. But we're all thinking the same thing. Yeah, beer store is an Ontario thing. Thank you, Nick. Appreciate that. John Croak grabs it. Oh, chip. To Lawton. Lawton gets it in deep. One shot on that power play. Abysmal. 2:40 left. Lawton tries to get it in front. The fourth line's out there. 2 minutes there. Oh, Lawton with a backhand shot, and Johansson covers up. And we got a face-off coming to the right of Johansson. You thought it. I thought it before Hoffman gave up that home run too. Man, funny story about that actually. I was like, Jays are gonna win the World Series. I'm gonna go. I was somewhere where I had to move my car because I'm like, I'm about to go celebrate. So I was like, I'm gonna go move my car so then I don't have to worry about it and I can go celebrate after. And I went out to move my car, and they gave up that homer. And by the time I got back to watching where I was watching, they had given up another homer. That was genuinely devastating. Genuinely devastating. And yes, Nick, I don't remember much, but I remember your name. 2:33 left. Leafs win the faceoff, but it's quickly swallowed up by Tampa there. And they're going to regroup behind their net. The Leafs are pressuring, though. The fourth line's out there. Big responsibility with 2 minutes left because Tampa has their big guns on here. I think Johansson's going to the bench. Yep, empty net for Tampa. Lawton's trying to get it out. And it looks like it's going to be an icing, and it is. Lawton kind of got upended there, but yeah, we don't have to talk about the Leafs. The Jays. We don't have to talk about it. Yeah, I didn't want to talk. It's funny because like it ended, and you like obviously had to talk about it. You obviously have to talk about the Jays because everyone's talking about the Jays, and that game ended, and I was like, let's not do this. Yeah, that too on the Jimenez play, but I mean, it is what it is at this point. Was there Jimenez on third base? I think it was Jimenez. So goalie's out. Great stick by Yarncroak Fourth line here on the ice. They're trying to get a change. They're stuck out here because there was an icing. Nice play by Lorenzi. Gets it to Yarncroke. Yarncroke with an empty net. He's going to shoot. No, he's not. You should shoot. You have an empty net. You have an empty net, sir. Shoot the puck. Surprised Domi didn't get involved in that melee. I agree. And we have another donation from Robert. But 1 second here. It's shot the length of the ice, and it's going to go for icing. Lawton ices it. With 128 remaining. Thank you again, Robert, for the donation. Really, really appreciate it. Surprised Domi didn't get involved in that melee. Excuse me. And it looks like Tampa's calling a timeout here, and they are, with 128 left in the third. I'm going to play it one more time. Thank you again, everyone who donated tonight. We really, really appreciate your support. From Shane to Robert to Papa Polly, everybody in between. I'm sorry if I missed somebody. We really, really appreciate your support. I think Blake Sim might have as well. But I know Blake Sim was in here earlier. And shout out to 200 of you in here right now. We're headed for a crazy conclusion to this one. We got 128 left here in the third. Tampa has just called a timeout. I have no idea why Yarncroke did not shoot that puck. That's going to suck, man. If they... I'm not going to say anything. Yarncroke should have shot that. He should have shot the puck. He should have shot that puck. Come on. Lawton is still on the ice. Who gets the empty netter? I say Morgan Riley. I don't know who's on the ice right now. Hold on. It's a weird mix of players. Their fourth line, Stetcher's on the ice, and McCabe. I feel like Lawton's going to get it. Nylander's out there as well right now. Oh. It's going for icing again. And it is icing again. 1:17 left now in the third. Oh, a nail biter in the regular season. A 1-0 game on a random Monday night. Oh, I love to see it. I feel like I'm in 2003 again. Lorenz and Lawton have been on for 1:40. There is a timeout in there, though. But that's tough still. We'd like to get them off. Puck is out to the neutral zone. 1:05 left in the third. Tampa gets it in deep. They're going to win this puck. It's rimmed around back to the point. Radish shoots. It's off the post. And what a save by Hildeby. He gets on top of it. It stopped. That was... Oh, boy. And there's Stetcher in the crease. There's Stetcher in the crease. Off the post. Hey, Blake Sim, how you doing? Right off the post, and then Hildeby falls on it. Whoa. Darren Radish with the... Yeah, deflection off of Hildeby's stick, off the post. And then great play by McCabe to throw it back into Hildeby. Boy, oh boy. There's 50 seconds left. Yes, it does feel like a Lou Lamoriello, New Jersey Devils, Martin Brodeur game. Martin Brodeur. Well, we got a Tampa Bay fan in the chat. Right here for the conclusion of this one. Leafs win the draw. Off the wall, and it's going to go for icing again. They stopped that clock pretty early. I didn't like that. 43.8 seconds left. Thank you, JC. I appreciate that. I try my best. I don't know if I am the best, but I try my best. Scramble draw, and the Lightning kind of get on the side of the net. It's in the corner now. Matthews is racing there. He wins the battle. And it's kind of tied up there in the corner. It bounces out to the point. Darren Radish has it. He throws it back in, but it's knocked down by Tavares. He gets absolutely blown up, but it's shipped out. Nyes is racing after it to the empty net right in the blue paint, and he couldn't get there in time. There's 20 seconds left. It's behind Tampa's net. Nyes and Matthews are chasing and pressuring. Chipped into the zone. Hildeby grabs it behind the net. He throws it off the glass and to the line. No, it's... Matthews gets it out. It's going to go and in. Matthews scores right at the buzzer. right at the buzzer, and Dennis Hildeby is going to get the shutout. 2-0. Matthews with the empty netter, and Hildeby is going to get the shutout. There is 0.6 seconds left in this one. There it is. I'm not even going to reset the clock because there is 0 seconds left. I will reset it. There is 1 second left. There's basically 1 second left. Great play by Tavares at the line to get the puck out. He chips the puck out. He gets absolutely blown up. The puck comes back in. But great play by the boys to get it out. Matthews just flings it down. And there it is in the back of the net. Matthews is 7 goals away from tying Matt Sundin for the all-time Leafs scoring record. The buzzer goes, and Dennis Hildeby, ladies and gentlemen, has his first NHL shutout. We have a goalie on our hands here. We have a goalie on our hands with the Beast. He wasn't ready last year. He wasn't ready for prime time. I'm a big fan of the Beast, but I said give him a few minutes. Give him a little bit. Looks like he's arrived a little bit. Looks like he's arrived. Great game last. Let in 1 goal last game. 0 goals against the Atlantic Division leading Tampa Bay Lightning. With Akhtiamov backing him up. First shutout. First shutout for Dennis Hildeby. I think you're thinking of Garrett Sparks, Nick. I think you're thinking of Garrett Sparks. Big win for the Leafs. He has been standing on his head. Man, Hildeby has played great. Made some big saves again tonight. First NHL shutout for the Hildebeest. That's what we like to see. That's what we like to see. .6'7". The kids are going to have a field day with that one. The goalie that got a shutout for the Leafs, 6'7". Confidence is a hell of a drug. Hildeby could become a nice trade chip. Do not trade this man. He is the goaltender of the future for this organization. Prophet, you did say Matthews was going to score. You said 4 or 5 minutes ago that it was going to happen, but you did say he was going to score, and I appreciate that. I imagine Hildeby as your first star here tonight, which they actually show on Prime Hockey, which is pretty cool. Signing the stick, and I imagine he's going to be the first star here. Hildeby is the future goaltender of this team. Wall's great. Anthony Stolarz is that stopgap goaltender that has been great, but you know he's the guy for now. But Riley also gets a star here. But Hildeby is the guy for the future. I think I'm a really big fan of Akhtiamov too. I think his ceiling is really high, but he's still very young. We'll see. What's up, Crankbait? What's up? Dennis Hildeby has stopped 95 of 98 shots. Anyone know if that's good? And yeah, all of a sudden the Leafs are 5-1 in their last 6. Very quiet though. Everyone's still saying they're struggling. They're struggling. They're crawling back into a playoff spot. Crawling into a playoff spot. First star, Dennis Hildeby. Big saves tonight. I mean, Saturday was a much better game from him, I think, in terms of like high danger scoring chances. He made some crazy saves, but this was a good one still too. I mean, this is a solid performance. What a game for the Leafs. Big, big, big win for the Toronto Maple Leafs. 2-0 over the Tampa Bay Lightning. They make up some ground on not just the Lightning, but the rest of the Eastern Conference. They also picked up a big point on Saturday, as it turns out now at this point. But, yeah, very, very excited to see what they do with the rest of this week, honestly. And if you take a look at the schedule, we'll bring up the schedule here. Coming up for the Leafs, you got San Jose and Macklin Celebrini coming up on Thursday. You got the Oilers on Saturday. Then you got Chicago next Tuesday, Washington next Thursday, and then you got the Predators on Saturday before Christmas on the 20th. So the Predators are not a very good team. And, oh yeah, what am I talking about? 1-0 here. Sorry, guys, I'm lacking. What am I doing over here? Sorry, everyone. It was a 2-0 final, excuse me. But, yeah, great game nonetheless. And, You got some easier opponents coming up. This was a tough stretch this week. I mean, you're still in the middle of it. What you got to get out of, I think, even Chicago's playing well this year. You got to get out of that. Capitals are pretty good, but once you get to, you know, the Predators, that should be hopefully a win. That would be a win. But let's get to the chat here before we wrap up. Appreciate everyone who tuned in tonight. This was a fun one. I always like the prime games. This was a real fun one. But 2 points behind first now. I mean, this is what I'm talking about. The league this year is just crazy. The Leafs are right there. The Leafs are gonna win the division. Like, they're gonna get going here. They're gonna win the division. But by the end of the season, there's gonna be some ups. There's gonna be some downs. But they're gonna win this division. But anyway, 2 points behind first now. Also, how's that for hitting the net, Mo? Much better. The division is bad. The whole league is bad. Everyone's losing, but everyone's losing in overtime. So it's just everyone's together. The only difference is like games in hand for certain teams. But there's a chance by the end of the week we're at the top of the Atlantic. I'd say there's a good chance by the end of the week we're at the top of the Atlantic. I mean, the Sharks are not a phenomenal team. They're a lot better than they have been, but they're not a great team. And Celebrini's been awesome, but if you can neutralize that, I think they'll be okay. We'll see how that plays out. Things are finally starting to come around. Just like the Jays, I'm not looking 3 years from now. Window is wide open. Win now at all costs. Banners fly forever. I totally agree. The window is open. You have to win with this group of players. I think we ultimately finished second, narrowly behind Tampa, but I'll take it. I mean, it's going to be a tight race. It's Tampa and the Leafs, I think, are the best teams there. I mean, some pretenders were there earlier this year. You know, some pretenders, the Boston Bruins, the, you know, Montreal Canadiens, the Ottawa Senators, a couple pretenders hanging around, but they'll be in the mix, and some of them will make the playoffs. But yeah, some crazy stats from tonight. But I think we'll wrap it up there, guys. Thank you, everyone, for tuning in tonight. That was a lot of fun. Leafs win 2-0 over the Tampa Bay Lightning. First NHL shutout for Dennis Hildeby, and 2 points behind first place now. Yeah, everyone's losing except for Dallas and Colorado and Carolina. But the Leafs beat Carolina last week. Looking pretty good. So thank you, everyone, for tuning in. We'll be back with another video, of course, tomorrow. We might actually have 2 for you tomorrow. It's an off day, but then the Leafs are back in action on Thursday. So we'll have you guys covered the next 2 days. We'll get some more updates. And, by the way, keep in mind, Chris Tanev is going to be evaluated on Wednesday. So I'll have an update for you guys on Wednesday. Chris Tanev should be back. Yeah, sorry, Crankbait. I've been streaming for now for like 3 hours. But yeah, Wednesday we'll have a update on Chris Tanev. That'll be exciting. And I have no idea what's happening with Anthony Stolarz. I'm sorry. I wish I could tell you guys something. But Chris Tanev could be back very soon. He was skating this morning in a regular jersey. He wasn't in a non-contact jersey anymore. He was skating in a regular jersey, but he still has to be evaluated. So once he's evaluated, if they clear him, get him in a practice, get him in 2 practices, 3 if you want to, you know, go over the top a little bit, and get him back in the game. So we'll see how he could be back pretty soon. But thank you, everyone, for tuning in. Thank you, everyone who donated tonight. Really, really appreciate it. Going to try and do more of these throughout the season. Hildeby is being interviewed right now. Well, I'll take you guys in to this right now. I just want to hear what he has to say. Said he's pleased with the result tonight. Before I wrap up here, this is Dennis Hildeby. He is pleased with the result. He had a lot of fun. He feels more comfortable, more calm in net this year versus last year. Said he made some adjustments in the summer. Likes to use his size to his advantage with his goaltending style, but yeah, he's happy with the results. He's giving the first shutout puck to his father. So that's the interview, and that is Dennis Hildeby. So thank you, everyone, again for tuning in. 2-0 win for the Toronto Maple Leafs over the Tampa Bay Lightning. Thank you, everyone who tuned in tonight to watch along. We'll do more of these. And we'll have you guys covered with updates tomorrow, the day after. Appreciate all of you who tuned in and who donated. And yeah, we'll see you guys tomorrow for a video. Have a great night, everyone. Go Leafs, go. This was a fun one.
Leafs Digest, your daily dose of gold. Stories of the bold where legends are told. From first puck drop to the season's full. Tune in and watch the drama